All right, after a break, we're going live. We're going live. Let's make sure that the audio is working out beautifully, because if not, then oh boy. Then this will be. There we go. Audio is fantastic. And we've already got a couple of highs coming on in, which is great to see. Say we've got Shade dropped a high earlier. And we got Jake Branch saying hi. Great to have you guys here, and everyone else who shows up later, welcome and happy holiday season. We are finally in the Christmas season. If you don't celebrate Christmas, that's absolutely okay, because there are plenty of other fantastic holidays to celebrate. And if you don't celebrate any sort of holiday, then God bless you, gentlemen. God bless you. If you don't have something to celebrate, may God bless you. All righty. So tonight will be hopefully a fun night, as I'll finally be giving my full review of Zootopia 2. We've got the Amazing Digital Circus trailer to go over, and that should be a good old time, as well as just talking about some other things. And for those who are wondering, my mom is doing okay. We had to end the last live stream a bit abruptly because she had gotten into a car accident. She's got two cracked ribs and a cracked sternum, so she's not exactly feeling the best. But tell that woman to slow down, and that is an absolute no-go. So holidays will be proceeding one way or the other in my household. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And let's see here. I think we'll wait a little bit for some people, for more viewers, hopefully to roll in. And well, if not, then not. Then we go on ahead and we press on anyway. I mean, what is YouTube but really just shouting into the void and having a good time doing it? So I'll give myself a few more minutes for other people to come on in, and then we shall talk about Zootopia 2. And I will have my insights, analysis, critique, and praise for the movie. And I honestly I feel like I find myself a little bit in the minority. I'll get more to that when we do. But I think while waiting a little bit longer to see who else doth pop on in, if you haven't yet seen my latest videos for Fiona and Cake, I highly recommend that you do. If you haven't seen Fiona and Cake at all, I recommend it. It's a fun show. It's a fun continuation of Adventure Time, which is really one of those interesting shows that in so many ways should have ended long ago. In all honesty, it should have ended in its 5th season, because that's when Pendleton Ward was like, okay, everyone, that's what I had planned. Bye. Peace. But Cartoon Network enjoyed Adventure Time so much. They were getting good reviews, good views. They were selling merchandise. People were liking it. So they continued on. Pendleton Ward left, and he would come on to do voices and maybe to throw around his own opinion and insights. But it really then came under the control of other people. And so it kind of rolled along with various highs and lows until it ended in its 11th season. And after that, it's like, okay, the show is done. It has said its bit, for better or for worse. I was not a fan of the finale. I really didn't like the finale. A lot of other people who had introduced me to Adventure Time had either checked out beforehand or finally muddled through to make their way to the finale, like Nathan. Nathan was one of the guys who really helped to get me into Adventure Time. And when he finally got around to the end of it, he's all like, yeah, no, I would be happy with just ending it back in season 5. So, so I get that there's a lot of people, especially the OG fans of Adventure Time, who are like, yeah, you know what? This went on long enough. And yet I would argue that Fiona and Cake has managed to do a fantastic continuation of the franchise. I think one of the reasons why it's been able to do it is because rather than just simply dive back into the story of Finn and Jake. It has decided to focus far more on Fiona and Cake, to fanfic characters, and actually make them true canonical characters, allowing the writers to really expand the multiverse and to dive into so many other ideas that were slightly introduced back in Adventure Time, but now they can have a whole lot more fun with it. And Rubens is back. Hey, Rubens, it's been a long time since we last heard from you. And Shay's saying, I'm literally getting ads on the stream, 4 of them. Well, I mean, this is a monetized stream, for better or for worse, and YouTube is going to get all of its money out of you. Oh, YouTube. Just money grubbing. I mean, that's what happens when you get taken over by Google. It's all about how to get that money. That sweet, sweet money. Because that AI ain't going to pay for itself, because AI is a black hole, much like streaming is. There's a hot take for you. Actually, hey, we got Mimic here. Woohoo! Hello there, Mr. Lars and friends. A long time no see. Happy holidays, everyone. Yes, happy holidays to you, Mimic. Now, I think before I switch gears and go back to one of the main topics of today's stream, which is going to be Zootopia 2, talking about like getting into Adventure Time, I'll share with you guys some Lars lore. This is going back to some of the early days of Adventure Time. I was in college, and I had a class. This class was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was mostly ridiculous because of the students that were in the class and the professor. And this class can both provide a Christmas time story and also an Adventure Time story, because oh boy. So the class was the history of Jews in the United States. That was the class. And it was very interesting, very insightful, learned a lot of really cool things. And I got a cat attacking my door. Hold on. So you guys cannot hear the warring at the door. There we are. Hi, honey. Stop tearing up my carpet. Shade, Shade, I'm just gonna say you've actually proven my point right there, or at least you agree with it. You're wrong about AI being a black hole. Soon the air bubble will collapse and a lot of people will be poor. That's what it means. It's a black hole. You're putting all of your money where you're putting all of your people are putting all of their money into something that will collapse and just, like a star exploding and collapsing on itself to become a black hole, just suck all the life and vitality out of them. So in any case, coming back to the story, the attack of the giant cat. She is a giant cat. So coming back real quick to the story. So in this class of the history of Judaism in the United States, there was this girl, a really interesting girl who would sometimes sit next to me, sometimes somewhere else, because it's college. There are no assigned seats. Everyone is wherever they decide to be. And she was always in costume. I didn't recognize the costume at the time, but she came almost every day dressed up as Finn from Adventure Time. And you know, when you've got a girl who is willing to go around and cosplay from day to day to day, and she's got some snark, she's got some attitude, that's an attractive thing in a girl. Oh boy. Oh, I dodged a bullet trying to go after this gal because she was insane. Oh boy. And one of the things she's like, okay, any guy who wants to get with me, he's got to know Adventure Time. And I'm like, oh, at the time, before I knew what kind of a bomb I was dealing with, I was like, it's like, yeah, sure. I want to get to know you a little bit better. I'll watch Adventure Time. And if you're diving into Adventure Time, especially if you don't have access to Cartoon Network, which I've never had cable, and this is before the days of like streaming everything. Yeah, trying to dive into Adventure Time without knowing anything is like going on an acid trip. It was so weird. I had no idea what was going on. I did not understand these characters. The show is just bonkers, especially the first couple of seasons of Adventure Time. Aside from the Lich, you're like, I have no idea what's going on. None of this makes any sense. Is there such a thing as continuity? Who are these characters? Does anything matter? And so I was like, why do you like this show? And come to find out, she was in the same group as a lot of people at the time in college who would get themselves as high as a kite and then watch Adventure Time to basically try to go on some psychedelic adventure without having to leave their dorm room. So yeah, the first person to introduce me to Adventure Time was the druggy, cute cosplaying girl that was in one of my history classes. And after I was like, oh nope, I'm not having any of that. Not having any of that. And now then, for the Christmas, or at least in this case, the Hanukkah part, the Hanukkah story that comes out of that class. So the professor was Jewish, and there were at least 4 other practicing Jews in the class. And one of the things that this class really helped me to appreciate was all the different denominations and interpretations of Judaism, down to the language. And so the professor, because we were coming up close to Christmas time towards the end of the semester, and he's going to talk about Hanukkah. So he says Hanukkah. Actually, he doesn't say Hanukkah. He said he goes Chanukah. And immediately, the other Jews in the room flew into a rage. Each single one of them had a different way of pronouncing Hanukkah, and it just went berserk. For about 10 minutes, everyone else in the class leaned back and was wide-eyed watching as the professor and 4 students were screaming at each other over the pronunciation of one word. And I was just like, what? What the heck? Guys, it's Hanukkah. I want to learn more about the history of Hanukkah, or tell me about how Hanukkah was reinvented by the American Jews, since that seems to be what the point of this class is. Like, that's why I'm here. It was crazy. And to complement that, I then in the next semester took a class of the history of the Bible, or the history of the Old Testament. So we went in there once again, lots of Jews, a Jewish professor, and he opened the class with saying, "This is my class. I say how things are pronounced. I say how things are interpreted. If any of you disagree with that, there's the door. You can leave. You still have a week to change your schedule. If you don't change your schedule within a week, you are in my class. You are stuck with me." And there was never any arguing. I think one student did try to argue with him about the interpretation of a scripture, and he slapped down and he was all like, "This is a secular class. Are we? Is this Sunday school? Is this Saturday? No. Welcome to college. Shut up." And I was all like, "Thank you," because I had already been in a class where, again, the professor and 4 other students had a screaming match about how to pronounce one word. And oh boy. And Shay says, "You think that's crazy? See some Muslim debate interpretations. That's crazy." I actually would sit down for that and just try to understand what on earth is going on. Lars, and he said again, first season of Fiona and Cake, people came for Simon. Second season, Huntress Wizard, and Finn. People don't see the new world of Fiona. I mean, they are seeing the new world of Fiona if they're watching the episodes. Like, as it always should be when you're getting into a new franchise, just have an insane crackhead introduce you to the goods. Exactly. You want to get into Avatar before the movie Fire and Ash comes on out? Hey, there's a person who gets high as a kite and then watches it in 3D and tells you how to interpret the Pandorian stars. That's the person to talk to. All right. Arts is here. Oh, you started earlier. Yeah, I started earlier because I was like, I have no idea how long the stream is going to go today, so I thought I'd get an early start on it and not go ridiculously late because I've got editing to do tonight. Also, I needed a break because I've been spending a good part of the day getting the house ready for Christmas. So taking stuff out, bringing stuff out of storage, getting stuff ready to go into storage, and ooh, it's a mess. I needed a break. The real question is, how was that word really pronounced? I'm just going to say, you know what? If people are going to get angry at you for saying Hanukkah, they're probably not for not saying Hanukkah the way that they want you to say Hanukkah. They're probably not people you want to hang out with. That's going to be that's going to be my take on it all. Because after that, I'm like, I don't know. And if I try to say it the way that these other people said it, I know I'm going to come across as now what's the word? I'm going to come across as very prejudiced, as anti-Semitic. I'm like, nope. I don't want that. I don't want to come off that way. So I'm not going to repeat the crazy ways that these people decided to pronounce Hanukkah because that's them. Honk. Yeah. So Hanukkah it is. Oh yeah, and thinking of Hanukkah, tonight is Sankt Nikolausabend. Woohoo! So make sure to leave out your shoes for St. Nicholas, so that way he can come and he can leave you some candy. If you've been bad, he's going to leave you a Switch, and then your parents will beat you in the morning. Stormcrow says, howdy, not going to lie, I'm severely disappointed by the lack of funny babies in the sequel. Imagine these two as parents, and of course Disney could virtue signal the mixed race message as well. Here's the thing, I don't think that... okay then. Thank you, Stormcrow, for coming on in and bring that, because let's use that to now shift gears to talk about Zootopia. Oh, what to say about good old Zootopia 2. So I want to know. I really, really want to know who in the back rooms for the writing and for the planning and everything say, you know what, for the sequel, we should pick up literally right where the previous movie left off. That's a great idea. Unless you had planned in the very beginning to do one or two movies, to do 2 movies, to do a trilogy, to do a cycle, to do 6 movies, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Oh, it's the same ride as the first one, Arts? Oh, I am going to tear this person a new one. Oh, because they should have known better. They should have known better. Oh. The thing is that you usually need to allow characters a chance to have a little bit of time pass. Show what their growth from the previous story looks like in a life where they've put that growth into practice. By jumping like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, you get Judy and Nick kind of at the height of the so-called honeymoon period of these two now being cops together. It's sweet, it's awesome, but there's really no story for them to lean back on. There's nothing that these characters can then refer to, like as they go along. Like, for instance, if Judy and Nick were like, hey, do you remember the time that we took down so and so? Like, for instance, when the police chief is all like, look, despite my best attempts, I actually do like you, and I want you to succeed. That would be an excellent moment for Nick to come in and not just simply be like, hey, I've been here this whole time, but Nick to be all like, hey, remember how like we did this. We've proved already that we can work really well together. And it would then actually hit way better, way more powerfully when the police chief says, yes, the problem is you two are becoming a headline. And it's like, what I need from you is I don't need you to be a headline. I need you to be the best cops that you can be, because you, as other bunnies and foxes try to get onto the force, will see your amazing deeds, not the legend. Because legends can never be lived up to. And what I've just given you right there already hit, like, that builds on already a pretty good scene, but makes it way more impactful and gives these characters far more history to deal for you to deal with, and for you to be all like, ooh, what else did they do? And then you get the fantastic opportunity for Disney to spin this off into merch, the unexplored histories of Hops and Wild. So yeah. So like I said at the beginning, I feel like I'm kind of in the minority. It's a fine movie. It's a fine movie. I went and saw it Thanksgiving night with my family, and we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good laugh at it. I think my oldest sister and I ended up watching it in the end more for the other movie references than for the actual plot, which is in of itself kind of a bad thing. But this is a movie made for little kids. They definitely toned it down for a younger audience, and I think that works then obviously for a younger audience. And they pumped in as many cultural references or other movie references as possible to keep the adults engaged. And it felt like Zootopia 2 pulled its punches. It pulled its punches where it could have been really good. And a lot of the stuff that happens in the movie is incredibly contrived and forced. So with that being said, so that way I can actually like not just hop around boing 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 like a bunny on caffeine and just become unintelligible as I rant. I'm going to put some things here into the comments, and some of these are good, some of these are bad. At least as far as my opinion goes, my writer's experience. So I'm going to put these things here into the chat, and I want to hear from you guys which one you want me to tackle first. So the diary, the ship, which is Judy and Nick, because as Art says, I watched it for Nick and Judy, and to be honest, I got plenty of what I wanted. Exactly. So we got the diary, we got the ship, the twist villain. Oh boy. I have some stuff to say there. We got the world building, and then coming down the message, and actually never mind. I already got the diary in there. There's the dreaded MacGuffin. Ooh, time and space. Okay. I thought you'd have words about the twist villain. No. Oh, I have words about the twist villain, about little Paubert. Oh boy. Okay, so let's see what you guys want me to start on first. The diary or the MacGuffin, the ship, Judy and Nick, the twist villain, the world building, dumbing down the message, and time and space. Nick says, I had a fantastic time watching this movie in theaters with my friends. The scene with Nick and Judy were expressing all their honest feelings and childhood trauma. Ouch, that hit. Honestly, the trauma dumping was good. I enjoyed that. I thought that was well written, even if the situation felt a little forced to me. The dialogue flowed well. It was well written, and the actors absolutely sold it. And so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that trauma dump. I was like, whoo, boy, imagine if we had gotten this earlier in the movie. We could be even further. But now that we know that they have a third movie in mind, it's very clear that they are making the romance as slow burn as possible. Speak about the twist villain. I know you want to. Art says the diary. Lars, I know you have a shipping addiction while waiting for Toby's lazy ass release chapter 5. Talk wild hops. So we got a ship, we got the twist villain, we got the diary. Stormcrow says sequel pitch. We actually see the darker side of Zootopia. I'm not talking Soprano style darkness, but maybe something that can't be solved with the power of friendship. Well, yeah, that would require them to not dumb down the movie next time around. That was one thing that made me sad. It's like, I as opposed to so many other people are like, why didn't you do more talking about racism? It's like the movie, because the movie didn't want to preach to you. The movie got the conversation going, which is what it was meant to do. But Disney got flipping cold feet because they're all like, what? People didn't like the message. Oh no, we can't have the message in the sequel. We can have one. It needs to have one, but just keep it as light as possible. All right, so we have a tie. We still have a tie vote between the diary, the twist villain, and shipping. So if we don't have a tiebreaker, then I will be rolling a die to see which one gets talked about. Honey, what on earth? Oh, she found wrapping paper. The cat found wrapping paper and is attacking the wrapping paper. All right. So without a tiebreaker, I happen to have a chance cube. Yeah. It's just a 6-sided tie. 1 and 2 will be the diary. 3 and 4 will be the twist villain. 5 and 6 will be talking about wild hops. Let's roll the die. That is a 4. Talking about 8-sided dice. Oh, I do have an 8-sided dice, but it doesn't work quite as well when we have 3 options. And then it puts in a vote for the twist villain, which is what I rolled the 4 for. So there we go. Twist villain it is. So we'll do the twist villain. We'll then talk about the ship, then we'll talk about the diary, and I'll then get the other things. Okay. The twist villain, Talbot, the Lynx. So I like the idea of the Lynx as being the villains. I mean, I do love me some cool cats, but I like the idea of having a very powerful, influential family that wishes to expand their territory. I feel like that should have been better explained because there wasn't anything other than just it's in their biology to expand their territory. Other than that very flimsy explanation, it didn't feel like there was a real reason to expand Tundra Town. I think that for instance, that could have again been pretty well brought up if just at one point the lynxes say that lynxes could actually divulge their evil plans and have something along the lines of it's not enough to have all of the territory that we have here. Don't you realize it's not just enough? And then name drop like other groups that are also gaining power. So, like for instance, the sheep continue to proliferate. Do you not realize that sheep will be the dominant voters at some such time, and they, as we have seen recently, are prejudiced towards us predators? We will lose our control unless we expand Tundra Town and bring more people under the Tundra Town banner and into our pockets. Something like that. Like you'd say, like it's not just simply that they need to expand their territory, but that their territory also amounts to how much of the vote in Zootopia they're able to control, that they're easily able to buy up. And that with other populations or other parts of Zootopia growing at a much faster rate than Tundra Town is, the best thing for them to do is to assimilate outside lands and bring in all of these other people who are not right now in Tundra Town, but kind of force them to be people of Tundra Town, which they could be like, well, you're going after a whole bunch of aquatic creatures, and be all like, doesn't matter. Don't you realize how many aquatic creatures can actually acclimate to the cold? And it's like, oh, okay. So you're destroying, even though you're going to destroy their homes, a lot of them, like the walruses, for instance, and the seals, will actually feel just as much at home in tundra town as they would in a swamp. Okay. So then it makes a little bit more sense. You can bring in you can bring again that fun biology, you can bring in the power dynamics, the vote, all this stuff, since I mean they already bring that up in the movie, how they control a certain amount of the vote in order to ensure that that Kronk, because I can't remember the name of the horse, but that Kronk becomes the becomes the mayor. The reason why I need to bring this up in terms of talking about Poppert is because we need to fully understand the villains and why they are doing what they're doing in order to make Poppert a better twist villain. Because Popper's just like, I just want to be accepted. Well, okay, but your family's actually really, really awful, and they've treated you awfully. Why do you want to be a part of all of this? You could very easily break free. We see that in the movie. So the horse reminds me of a guy from Batwatch. So do you want the Hello Kitty notepad or the 8-sided die? All right. So so coming back to it, like, it just feels like Pobbert really doesn't have a good reason to be a villain. It feels incredibly flimsy. Now then, of course, we've already seen that villains don't necessarily need to have a strong motivation to do bad things. Okay, fine. The other thing, though, is that I pegged him as a villain from the very beginning. Very first scene when he bumps into Judy, I was like, villain. There we are. There's your villain. And even my sister leaned in. She's like, "This is a bad guy, right?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm guessing so, but I think so." And then after the movie was done, she was like, "Yeah, I kept thinking, like, are they going to surprise me and not make him a villain?" And then when the twist came, she's like, yeah, saw it coming. The way that you make a good twist villain is that you need to make everyone in the story and in the audience believe that the person who's going to betray them, or the person who's going to reveal their true intentions, you need to make them believe that this person is on their side, that this person is good. And that could have actually easily been done with Pobbert by, again, knowing what the Lynxes want to do, and Pobbert, like, opening up saying, yeah, they want to continue to control the mayor. They want to continue to control the overall government of Zootopia. Tundra Town does not have as much power, actually, as they think it does, which means they need to expand it. Expanding it's going to cause all of these problems. It's going to make all these people homeless. They're going to continue to oppress the reptiles. And if you just have Pobbert being far more of an advocate for the swamp and for the reptiles, and doing a whole lot more in the open earlier on, you would make Pobbert seem like a legit good guy this whole time. But then, when you finally have the twist, just be all like, my family wants control. I want control as well. You know how long I have been at the bottom of the crapping pole this whole time? I've taken it from everyone. I come from one of those powerful families, and yet I'm not respected. And when I go about trying to do the good thing for other people, everyone just sees a lynx. So you know what? I'm going to flip the script on everyone. By doing what my dad wants, by being the one who makes it possible, I get to inherit Dad's business. Then I get to be in charge. Then I get to be the one calling the shots in Zootopia. And then I finally get my proper due. If you went about it from that particular angle, it would make Pobbert actually a more sympathetic villain. It would make him a better twist villain, and it would make sense why he's doing what he's doing. And And that's why when I see people saying that he's one of the best twist villains that Disney's done, I'm like, not really. He makes more sense than Hans from Frozen, and he definitely doesn't come out of the blue like Miss Bellwether from the first Zootopia movie, but he's not that great of a twist villain. If you want an excellent twist villain, for it, you need to read the first Mistborn book. Holy crud! When Tensoon betrays everyone, and by me saying Tensoon, I also know I am not spoiling anything because none of you know who Tensoon is, and none of you will know who Tensoon is until you read the book, because his betrayal comes out of nowhere, and it comes out of nowhere, and yet when you think about it, you're like, oh my gosh, Brandon Sanderson, you absolute mad lad genius. You laid out everything. I get why Tensoon is betraying everyone. Holy crud. Oh, Vin is so screwed. Oh, it's so good. Tensoon's betrayal is so good. And then I love it when Tensoon comes back around. You're like, Tensoon, yes, thank you. Because I always knew you were a good guy. But, you had me going there. You had me going there because you screwed up everything. But, yeah. So read the Mistborn series to get an excellent example of a twist villain. In fact, actually, in the second book, there are basically two different twist villains. One you can kind of see coming, but you really wish that he wouldn't be a villain. And the other one, Tensoon, just blindsides you. And you're like, oh my gosh. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Assistant Mayor Bellwether, thank you. Thank you for the correction, Art. In their defense, it was a better attempt, but yeah, no one was surprised by this twist villain. Yeah, and give them a little bit of a clap. It was a better attempt than any other twist villain from out of Disney in recent history, but still, if you're going to do a twist villain, you need to make sense of why the villains are doing what they're doing, and the character who's going to be the twist villain needs to win you over as a good guy. But then when they do their betrayal, it makes sense, because since you understand who the villains are, their goals as the twist villain are either in perfect alignment with the other villains or are an attempt to usurp the actions of the villains in order to benefit for themselves. That's what makes a good twist villain. That is why, for instance, Wreck-It Ralph, even though Turbo Man coming out, Turbo Guy going Turbo. When Turbo reveals himself at the end, it makes sense because we've already set up the whole going Turbo. We already know that this guy's deranged enough to crash 2 different games. He's that vindictive, and it makes sense then with everything that King Candy has done, because King Candy has been really vindictive throughout the story. And we also see when he goes in to mess around with the game's code, we see that Penelope was removed from the code. So King Candy knows what's going on. King Candy is doing some weird shenanigans. King Candy is vindictive. He's also a racer who always wants to win. And when it's revealed that he's Turbo, you're like, that makes sense. It's Turbo time. Oh my gosh, yes. You should have seen us. We were playing together with the Turbo Man. And it was wonderful. I love Jingle All the Way. It's not a great movie, but man, it's a funny one. And it's a movie that works because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, for crying out loud. If you had anyone else other than Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie as the main character, it would not have worked. Also, it really helps that Sinbad's in the movie to be just as ridiculous as Schwarzenegger. Okay, so moving on, we are going to move on again now. So I've had my chance to ruminate a little bit, complain a little bit, to rant and expand on why the plot, the twist villain of Zootopia 2 is not as great as people are saying. There's a much better way in order for anyone to write a twist villain. Once again, understand who your villains are, what their motivations are, what is it they're doing, and make sure that the twist villain in question is written as a convincing good guy. Do that, everything will start coming together. Oh, this cookie is so good. Put that cookie down. That line should be right up there with Get to the Chopper. Yeah, put that cookie down. There he is, putting my star to my tree. That guy, the creepy neighbor in Jingle All the Way, is absolutely despicable. I love it. It says, if I saw Robert, I really hope he wouldn't end up being a villain. I fell in love with how much of a soft he is. I really wanted him to be good, but this movie completely trolled me once again. I will say this. I will say this for Robert. He is a fun written character. Like, he's convincing in his he's very convincing in his anxiety, in his ability to be genuine. He is a softie. Even as a villain, he's still a softie. You get this feeling of a guy who's just bumbling through, trying to make things work, and that is well written. I did enjoy his character. I was just like, yeah, I saw he was a villain. I was coming from a mile away. He wasn't a good twist villain. The guy who plays the neighbor was so good with the obnoxious voice. I forget his name. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So good. Actually, that actor plays the voice for Gigi in Kiki's Delivery Service, if I remember correctly. Brother, spoiler road next time. I will give you consequences. Oh, I will do all the spoilers. Let's see here. Lars, I'm going to sue you for racial stereotyping. Hey. I'm half German. I can get away with it. On top of that, I served my mission to Steiermark. I was with Schwarzenegger's people. I even went to his hometown. I even went to his home. I even went to his birth home. I have done more on the pilgrimage to Schwarzenegger than most other people. I can even make myself sound like I can speak competent Steuerisch. Ja, ich kann Storch. Ich kann Storch sprechen. Eigentlich niemand würde sagen, ich kann Storch sprechen. Niemand. Man würde eigentlich sagen, ich kann Storch. There you go. Ha! None of you will have understood what I just said. That's absolutely fine. So who bought a Nick and Judy plush from the Disney store? You know what? I think I'll wait until the third movie when they're officially together. As a couple. There was something that Snarko says, okay, I'm going to go full Grimtards. Zootopia sequel pitch. A hybrid serial killer is skinning prey animals to be a literal wolf in sheep's clothing. Things will be abortion, mixed race marriage. Oof, yeah, Disney will never go that route. You want to read something like that? Read or watch Beastars, because you'll get into that stuff. Holy cow! Oh, the later arcs of Beastars. Oh, that's some dark stuff. Please stop it. Nah, ich werde nie. Ich werde nie halten. Das mache ich gar nichts. I love how Judy's new look for Zootopia with that new jacket. Judy looks really good. I felt like they phoned it in for Nick. I mean, yes, he's supposed to get ready to basically go on he's basically supposed to go on vacation. I get that, but still. I mean, he's wearing the same pink shirt almost the entire movie. I don't feel it really works for him. That's just me though. Like melon? Like melon, yes, all the melons. All right, so let's see here. Next thing to talk about, the ship. Okay, the ship. Judy and Nick. I'll be honest, I was disappointed up until the very end that I felt like they weren't going further with Judy and Nick. except for like the trauma dumping, that was really good. But then I saw, oh, they're setting up a third movie with the birds. Okay, now it makes sense. We're going with a slow burn relationship here. And in that sense, once I saw that that's what they're doing, I was actually way more okay with it because in retrospect, because in retrospect, if you think about their relationship thus far, you have a cop and a criminal who do not see eye to eye at all in the first movie, at least until later when they finally begin to understand that each one of them has been oppressed in a certain way. That there's a dark side to Zootopia that they both have to deal with and how it has affected them personally. And so you go from enemies to people who have an understanding to genuine friends. And once that friendship actually gets broken before the end of the movie, and then them coming back together, Judy reaching out to Nick, and you get the whole "I'm just a dumb bunny," which is a great moment, such a great moment in the first movie. Once you have all of that, they come back together now as a truly confirmed, solidified friendship who are now going to go into business together as cops. And so good progression for them. Yes, I know there's the whole thing of you love me. Do I know that? Yes, yes, I do. That is them just having playful banter. If you haven't been around a friend who's like, you love me, uh, I mean, some friends are not going to be that open. So I'm not going to say you don't have good friends because I'm like, yeah, actually thinking about it, there's a lot of people I knew growing up who would not have said that out loud. But it's friendly, good, playful, friendly banter from two people who've confirmed their friendship through everything that they've lived through in the first movie. Coming into the second movie, that friendship is being challenged by the environment of work because it's one thing for Nick and Judy to have done everything that they did in the first movie where they were not partners in the law. In many cases they were effectively partners in crime. It was far more loosey goosey, doing their own thing. I think they were getting to know each other. And so in many ways they were actually more free to be themselves in the first movie. In the second movie, they are now partners in law enforcement. There are expectations on them now. They have to act a certain way. They have to speak a certain way, which is very different from anything that Nick is used to. Uh, and and so just a lot of the playfulness is kind of gone. For Judy, this is the whole honeymoon period. Finally, I get to be with my best friend as a cop. We're partners, and that's the whole like happy anniversary. Like this is the honeymoon period. This is the best it's going to be. And for Nick, he's just, as he explains later on in the movie, he's like, look, I just wanted to be there because that's where you are, because you're my pack. And I love how she's also like, you're my fluffle. If you guys don't know, a fluffle is a group of bunnies. And so, in any case, I really did like how the movie shows how being cops together puts a lot of stress onto their relationship, and you want them to figure things out as they go along. Now, again, I said I watched this movie with my family. My oldest sister was next to me throughout the movie, and we shared some comments back and forth as we were going along. And after the movie was done, she was like, "You know what? I feel very underwhelmed with their character development." She said it felt a whole lot like throughout most of the movie, like Judy was pulling Nick around up until the trauma dumping, and that Nick has a few cool parts, but that the story always favors Judy. And so there's an imbalance, and I will agree with that. There's kind of an imbalance in how their relationship is addressed. It is largely addressed through Judy's perspective, with just small glimpses from Nick and small input from Nick. Uh, so so that's something that's coming from someone who's not an author, who's just watching the movie for the fun of it. And I had to agree. It's like, yeah, the development does feel a little bit uneven. I would love to have seen more from Nick going on throughout the movie. But just as with the first movie, their relationship is challenged. They come back together. She's the main character. Of course, it'll be unfair. She's the main character with Nick, as opposed to the first movie where we are introduced to everything through her. The second movie is supposed to show these two in equal lights. Now that we've gotten to know both. And I will say this, I think that the writing for Nick really shines when he has to act on his own. Now then, one of the things I did enjoy was the whole honeymoon cottage. That was super on the nose. That was super on the nose. And not just because it's like, oh, it's their honeymoon period as cops, but because these two got together as friends, as partners at the end of the first movie. The honeymoon is supposed to be the great moment. Oh, there's trouble in paradise. The anniversary sucks. Uh, the the honeymoon cottage literally splits in half, separating the two of them. It's a good representation of how their relationship has fractured. And what is good about the story going forward, as far as Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde goes, is that the both of them want to fix it. The problems are there. They acknowledge it, and from there they want to fix it, which is good writing. That is really good writing when it comes to writing a relationship. When there's a rockiness in the relationship, the characters assess it, realize what's going on, and want to fix it. You'll be surprised how many authors actually don't do that. It's just like, well, I want these characters to be together. I want there to be drama. Give me all the juicy drama. Yes. And then when it comes time for them to kiss and make up, swoosh, they come back together, they kiss and make up, and they're like, you're the only one for me. Oh. But Zootopia 2 does something different. It is far more realistic. It's far more respectful to its characters. And so I really do enjoy that. I did think that the relationship building for the two of them worked out really well. We see how they are getting set up for a romantic moment. The real key is at the very end, when Nick gives back the repaired and restored carrot pen, that she's recording him speaking to her there, and she gets him saying, "I love you, partner." But then when she's replaying it later, she's only replaying the "I love you, I love you, I love you," which there's the indication. Judy, we now know, has a thing for Nick. Does Nick have a thing for Judy? Or is it just simply, you're my pack? Who knows? And that will be the fun drama of the third movie between these two. And so at first, like I said, while watching, I'm like, where exactly are we going with this? But by the end of the movie, I'm like, I see what you're doing, and I do appreciate that. Because as I've argued before in other videos, I think that an excellent romance is built on a strong friendship. And what we've got going here between Nick and Judy is a strong friendship, which is why the ship works really well, and why I think the canon romance will work really well. It says these three items combined make one the master of writing. Yes. And Shay says, I mean, people like that problem. I immediately fix it without actually fixing it. People like the fantasy more than the realism in a relationship. They do, and yet at the same time, most fantasy relationships are very quickly forgotten. It's the fluff. People like fluff. People like cotton candy. But you don't always remember the cotton candy you ate, but you remember the excellent meals that you ate. And it's the same thing with romance. People like the cotton candy of romance, but the romances that actually stand the test of time are the ones with substance. And what I really enjoy is that Judy and Nick are getting that substance. The three ancient of artifacts of writing. Now then, now that since we've got time and space, let's. Oh, okay, actually, let's see here. What was it? We got between the three because I don't know if time and space was one of the ones that was originally up for the vote. So we had the twist villain. We had twist villain, the relationship, the diary, and then we'll talk about time and space because oh boy, this movie had no concept of time and space, and it broke a few scenes really badly. But first, let's talk about the diary. The diary was so underutilized. Oh, it ticked me off. Ah! If you're going to have a MacGuffin, please make good use of it. So, for those of you who don't immediately understand what a MacGuffin is an item that pushes the plot along. Lars, why did you use the Hello Kitty notepad as your diary? Because that Hello Kitty notepad has all the secrets of the universe. All right. So, the diary. The diary is actually not a bad addition to the movie. I was not upset that it was in there. I was upset that it was underutilized because it made no sense until way too late why the snake was after the diary. And it's like, okay, well, it's got metal. Oh, when you heat the metal, you can then see other things. This is a snake who can see more with heat vision. Ah, makes sense. Okay, but when you put that in 3/4 of the way through the movie, it does not make any sense. Why that diary is being fought over and being chased after? I guess I'm missing something right here. Hey, that's mine. That's mine. What have I stolen from you guys in terms of the Hello Kitty notepad? But the movie establishes that the diary is one of the oldest artifacts of Zootopia, and then it goes back to the founding of the city because in it are the secrets of how the city was built. A Hello Kitty notepad with a metallic cover that a snake can see through it with heat vision. Ah, yes. So, okay, that actually makes it an interesting artifact. But because no one bothers opening this thing and reading it, I was like, why is everyone so obsessed with this? They keep saying, it's got a metal cover. It's got a metal cover. It's got a metal cover. Because the writer was scared that no one was going to understand what would happen when they then heated up the cover. That's silly. Because you can still bring up, you can still be all like, yes, this thing has a metal cover to it, while also exploring what's in the diary. And what should have happened is they should have opened it and be like, hey, so why would a snake want this diary? Open it up. Okay, so we got the history of early Zootopia here, but there's a lot of schematics. There's a lot of equations. There's a lot of stuff about building. What if the snake wants to melt Tundra Town? Reverse the heat from the desert, put in Tundra Town, melt down Tundra Town, make more room for the snakes, and snakes are cold-blooded? Oh, that could be the thing. Like, misdirect the characters a little bit with the MacGuffin. Explore the MacGuffin. Show what on earth is going on with it, or what people think is going on with it. Have the characters guess why the snake would want it. Explore what's in the diary. Make the audience also think, man, why would a snake want this diary? And then, of course, you can have it where they're all like, why would anyone, though, go through all the effort of putting metal onto a diary. Well, it's just not something that most people would do. Like, you can still bring that about while trying to explore and understand and misunderstand what's going on with the diary and the snake. If you go that route, you actually engage the audience more in why this thing is so important. A good example of this is actually going back to it would be to go back to the Lord of the Rings. The first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, risked so much with that long prologue because Peter Jackson wanted the audience who had not read the books to understand just how important this ring was, to show how the ring had brought about wars, how the ring was used to conquer parts of Middle Earth, how the ring could corrupt people, destroy them, how the ring would lead people to their deaths. And by doing that, you realize that when that ring is messing around with Bilbo at the end of the party, you're all like, no, no, Bilbo, no! Because you now know. You understand what this ring is capable of doing. And throughout the movies, you see this time and time again as the ring is trying to betray Frodo, as the ring is corrupting Frodo, as the ring is driving him and Gollum mad, as the ring, even when it's not around other people, it drives others like Denethor insane with lust and desire for power. How it's even able to take a good man like Faramir and get him so close to corruption. Which is totally contrary to what happens in the books, but I do like that. I do like that change in the movies, which is again there to show that the ring is so potent and powerful that it can make even the best of men break and become awful. So, by exploring what the One Ring can do, making it then the MacGuffin that pushes the plot of all three movies or all three books makes total sense. This is an all-powerful ring. If it comes into the hand of the enemy, it will make them super powerful. This ring alone, like forget powers to conquer the world. This ring alone already does nasty stuff to people. So of course we got to get rid of it. And so a MacGuffin works best when its importance is made known throughout the story. So, TV count, what's today's lesson? I'm already giving you guys the lesson. It is that MacGuffins work best when they are explained early on and shown why they are important throughout the story. The diary, its true importance in Zootopia, can be guessed at to heighten the mystery before it is revealed 3/4 of the way through the movie. We know that the book is the MacGuffin that moves the plot along because, everyone's coming to see the book. The snake is trying to steal the book. Because the snake wants the book, the lynx want to destroy the book. But wait, why would you destroy the book when it's this priceless artifact of Zootopia's history? So the movie already makes it clear that this book is important. But after that point, the only thing that they bring up about that book until it's revealed, it is a map to where the reptiles lived. Other than that, the only thing that they stress is that it's got a metal cover. And it's rather silly because you're just kind of running along again and again and again. And in many ways, the writer's even like, because I don't want to give away the mystery really early on, I'm just going to make it more about trying to find the snake rather than what the snake is actually trying to do. And that really devalues the power that this diary can have within the overall story. Explore the diary early on, see its contents, have the characters guess why the snake would want it, and then by extension, it makes the audience guess why the snake would want it, and it gets them more and more invested, and then their eyes are always like, where's the diary? Where's the diary? Where's the diary? The snake has got the diary. Oh no, that's not a good thing. We don't know what's going to happen, but the snake should not have the diary because it's got all these secrets. That becomes way more engaging. Unfortunately, the diary is underutilized as a MacGuffin, and so it becomes an example of what you don't want to do with a MacGuffin in your story. Tegan says, like the briefcase from the other movie. I forgot about the title. Yeah, you're talking about Crud! It's right there. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Pulp Fiction. There we go. Pulp Fiction. That's the movie that you're thinking of. TV account with the briefcase, and whenever they open it up, gold and light leaks from it, and everyone's like, "Oh, oh!" You never know what's in it. The interesting thing with Pulp Fiction is that the briefcase actually doesn't. The briefcase itself doesn't move the plot along. It's a distraction. It's actually a great use of the MacGuffin in that you never know what this thing is. And all you know is that it does things to people. It makes people stupid. More important is what the characters themselves are going through in the quest of this MacGuffin and how the choices that they make in response to nearly dying because of getting this MacGuffin sets everything up for all the other encounters that happen out of order with Pulp Fiction. You know that Sauron got that ring for like 50 cents. Oh yeah, and yeah, he got it out of a Cracker Jack box. Well, the diary was supposed to exist before Zootopia, but it was just introduced in this movie. Yeah, yeah, and obviously that's what the world building's got to say. Again, it's a MacGuffin. It was just underutilized, and it was so frustrating to me. So frustrating. Ugh. Anyways, let's talk about the one thing that really just oh this made me angry. Time and space don't matter. Time and space do not matter in this movie. Great example of this. The whole Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair is out this weekend. I did not know that. No. And take a quick drink of water. Good water. Okay, so the first half of the climax of the movie when Paul Burt betrays everyone and he's poisoned Judy. Judy's about to die. He's opened up the door so that way his is going to freeze. And then he's going to go up. He's going to kill Nick. And this compound where the controls are for the heating wall and for the refrigeration wall is huge. It is huge. And it is established early on in the scene that the characters do not know where the others are. That is paramount to the story, that they do not know where the others are. And it's huge. And the cinematography, the shots, show us that there's a ton of difference. In fact, stories worth of difference. We're looking at like 8-10 stories worth of difference between these two. And then the moment that Hiss is able to warm up Judy just a little bit to get her going after after curling around her so that way he can get warmed up, so that way he can then put in the needle and get Judy going again. Judy then just sprints and is immediately right there in like when the fight between Popper and Nick has just begun. It has just begun, and then boom, she's already there. And it's like, okay, I know you're a rabbit, but you did not know where Nick was. The cameras were not on where Nick was, and there's 8-10 stories difference between where you and Nick are. This makes no sense. You literally show up 5 seconds later. And that's probably the most egregious example, but it keeps on happening. Characters magically arrive where they need to be for the plot to move forward, even when it has been established in the previous shot, which is happening at the exact same time as whatever's happening where the plot needs them to be, shows that they are far apart from each other. This is on the same level of shenaniganery as the last season of Game of Thrones, where just entire armies can arrive wherever they magically need to be. Poof, they're there. And it's like, oh, look at that. We did that in like a couple of weeks. No, that's supposed to take like half a year to cross the entire continent. Especially with an army that big. How the hey did you make that go? Well, how the hey did you make that happen? And and I know that some people are just going to say, look, it's just a cartoon. But the thing is that when you have that kind of a contradiction, when you have those kinds of gaps happening repeatedly, the moment the moment that you try to think just a little bit more beyond vegging out on your couch or vegging out in the theater, it immediately takes you out of the storytelling experience. When you have an issue that big that happens again and again, if there's one mistake, it's one mistake. If it's two mistakes, but it's like two different mistakes, it's two different mistakes. There's mistakes in all kinds of stories. We all make mistakes. That's fine. We want to try to minimize those mistakes, but when it happens again and again and again and again and again, it happens at least 4 times in the movie, and it's the same mistake where characters magically happen to arrive where they need to be, even though a previous shot just showed that they're not even close. It ruins the idea of time and space. And you'll want to know what? If this is the same guy who wrote the first movie, he did better in the first movie. Because in the first movie, he actually established time and space. You can feel the 24 hours draining away as the first Zootopia movie goes on. You can feel as Nick and Judy are rushing across the city, you feel that time just going away. When Nick pulls his trick by going to the DMV and wasting the entire afternoon, like you feel it because you know they're on another side of the city. They have to get to the other, and it's even shown as when they get out, night has arrived. When they get to where the otter lives, it's deep night. The stars are now all out. Time is ticking. Time mattered in the first movie. Distance mattered in the first movie. It always mattered because it's a rush against the clock. And it was done brilliantly that way. To have a kids movie, to have a cartoon acknowledge that time and space matter, made it feel way more engaging, made it feel way more realistic. It solidified the stakes of the story, even if just subconsciously. Most people are not watching this being like, yes, time and space have been respected. No one does that. Not even I did that while watching this movie. But afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, they just kept jumping around. It was basically as bad as a jump cut, and numerous jump cuts, which is just bad storytelling. That's bad cinematography. That's bad filmmaking. And so you need to respect time and space. If you say something is going to take a certain amount of time, it should take that amount of time unless you can show why it didn't. If two characters are completely different places and you need them to get together as fast as possible, you need to come up with a good explanation for why they're able to get together as quick as possible and not just simply ran fast. Okay, they ran fast, but she had no idea where Nick was. And not even a bunny can comb the entirety of that wall that quickly. So now it's just that now it's still the year 2016. Is this movie, or is it just timeless? Well, the first movie handled time really well. This movie didn't. It's just gah. Oh, do you think the people who watch Zootopia have brains? Oh yes. This is a joke. Please do not destroy me. But the answer is yes. I know it's rhetorical and it's a joke, but yes. In fact, it's one of the coming around to when I think one of the other reasons why people just accept this movie as far better than the first movie is because Disney had it dumbed down. Now, TV Account says, are there do's and don'ts on how to use MacGuffins? So TV Account, there are some do's and some don'ts when it comes to MacGuffins. And really, one of the most big don'ts is don't just have an item there in the story and make everyone, for whatever reason, go after that item without an explanation for what that item is. Now, the item can be a mystery, like in Pulp Fiction or even in the third Mission Impossible movie. No one knows exactly what the rabbit foot does. They just know that it's going to be very dangerous if it's ever used. Now the thing is that a MacGuffin If a MacGuffin is the inciting thing that gets the plot going, it doesn't necessarily need to be explained too much because you intend for character choices and interactions to push the story forward after that. The MacGuffin has done its part to get the characters where they need to be to start the conflict. If the MacGuffin is going to be a continuously driving force throughout the story, like the One Ring in the Lord of the Rings, then that item needs to be relevant and explored and understood throughout the story. Which is, again, why the One Ring works so well as a MacGuffin. So, Tiagan says, Dollars maybe it's because we're aware of the deadline from the start of the movie, so it makes it obvious that time is progressing. That is true. But here's the thing: is that again, in the case of this movie of Zootopia 2, it's not that we're just jumping about from day to day to day. In fact, I actually don't mind that. I don't mind if you're a little bit nebulous with day to day to day. Not everyone needs to be like J.R.R. Tolkien and plot out literally every single day in the cycles of the moon for your story. You don't need to go that far. But when characters, and when it is established, again, looking towards the end of the movie, Judy is 8 to 10 stories below Nick, and she just got an EpiPen struck into her chest. Okay, then. At the same time, when Nick threw the EpiPen down, the structure is collapsing and snapping. So, Judy knows that he's up really high. She doesn't know where. She's got 8 to 10 floors to scale. Plus, establishing shots early on show the structure inside of the wall. It's not user-friendly. Judy would have to be running faster than a cheetah to make it up to the top and then somehow find Nick. Now, here's the thing. If you were to extend the fight between Nick and Paubert, it would make sense. Except that the shots show us that when Nick throws the EpiPen to the point where he and Paubert look like they're about to die, about 5 to 10 seconds have passed. So what this means is that Hiss warmed up, put the EpiPen into Judy, Judy recovered, sprinted up 8 to 10 flights of stairs, or stories, and then found Nick somewhere on the top of the wall, all within the space of 5 to 10 seconds. When that happens, that is not good writing, unless you could have it where Judy just happens to have a device that stops time, and so she can run really fast. Or if she's like Scarlet from May I Ask for One Final Thing, and she has the ability to warp time within her own body, so she can move faster than anyone else. Like that would that like okay, fine, you gave me a reason why she can do it. She can do it. Because there's no reason why she could do it, it is a massive contradiction within the story. And the thing is, if you try to replicate what Zootopia does in that particular moment within your own stories, you will lose your audience. It's not even like, oh, you might. No, you will. Because people will notice. People will notice when things do not line up. Because if they're reading, for instance, if they're reading right here, okay, 2 pages of so-and-so doing their thing. And like at the beginning of the first page, it's like, Jackson, don't worry, I'm coming for you, man. Just hang in there against that gator. So Jackson's fighting against the alligator. 2 pages of whatever Jackson's buddy is doing to help him out with the alligator. And so you can tell that time is passing. After 2 pages, you swap to Jackson's POV. Jackson hears his friend. Jackson, just hang in there. I'm going to help you on now. Jackson's like, come help me, buddy. Ah! The alligator rolls twice, and Jackson can feel his arms coming out of their sockets. He's in so much pain. And then his buddy arrives and pulls him out of the water and kicks the gator in the head. 2 pages versus 2 lines. How did that work? Because unless those 2 pages are of Jackson's friend, like hyper thinking everything over. If Jackson's friend's off doing other things, and it's very clearly taking time more than two lines worth, two full rolls of a gator, then if you then pop over to Jackson's POV and then the buddy shows up and saves Jackson, your readers are going to be like, this sucks. How did that work? You immediately boot them out of the story because it doesn't make any sense. This is why continuity is so important. And that's one of the, and honestly, the time skips that make no sense in Zootopia 2 is an issue in continuity. Now that if Jackson's buddy is like Superman, then it's totally fine. But you have to make sure that you make sense of that. Again, if you can give me a good explanation for how Judy's able to cross like 15 to 10 seconds later in order to save Nick, then I understand it. So Art says, I see the defense being related to adrenaline. Okay, but still, it's established. Judy has no idea where Nick is. She is 8 to 10 stories beneath him somewhere, and she has to get warmed up, get the EpiPen. It's just, and it's a lost opportunity because actually you could fix that whole scene and make it better. So I'm not just simply going to rant about how I don't like it and why it doesn't work. Here's actually what you need to do. And this would have been like, here's an example of what you could do. I won't say you need to do it. Here's an example of what you could do to make the scene even better. Because I want you to keep all of that drama. His coiling up with Judy, warming up, putting in the pin, all of that, that's actually really, really good. That was good. What needed to then happen up at the top is that as the wall is beginning to break, as well as beginning to break, have Nick be like, dude, Palbert, this is your family's legacy. Are you really going to destroy it all just for the hope that they're going to take you in? And Palbert's like, of course they're going to take me in. I will prove myself. And then Nick can just be all like, look, take it from a guy who's been there and done that. You can do everything you can to appease people who don't like you, and they still won't like you. Don't do this, man. Don't do this. Or he could also like appeal to he could also appeal maybe to Palbert's humanity, such as it is, since there's no humans in the story, but for lack of a better term, humanity, or a sense at least of dignity and of honor. Like, are you really going to go through and hurt an entire section of the city just because you want to be accepted? And probably be like, oh yes, of course. He's all like, and he could be like, I'm a lynx. It's what we do. It's all like, I'm a fox. And you see me working together with a bunny rabbit. Like, you can change. Your species does not determine who you are. If you have Nick in any kind of way affirm his growth as a character in that face-off with Palbert, with whom he shares some striking similarities that he doesn't like. He doesn't want to admit that he has those, but they're there. If you have that moment, like a pause in the fight, to help build up the tension, you reaffirm Nick's personal growth throughout these two movies. And you are able to better set up Palbert as the villain, and then Palbert can be all like, look, man, enough is enough, and then go to like try to stab him with the little weird taser injector. And that gives Judy then time to recover and make her way up to intercept Palbert at the last moment and save Nick from falling to his death. That is how you fix that scene. At least that's how I would fix that scene. Because you can have all of that. That's the thing, is that it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just that the writer totally forgot the concept of time and space. And so if you think about that scene in any kind of way other than that was fun, it starts falling apart. And you never want your audience to, for when they start really thinking about your story, to be like, oh, wait, that doesn't work. Because if your audience is thinking about your story, that means that they're really liking it. But if they're really liking it and suddenly realize it doesn't work, that takes them out of that enjoyment. And that's one of the things that Zootopia 2, unfortunately, has a problem with. There's multiple times where you're really into it, and if you think about it for just a little bit about what's going on, you're taken out of the moment. And you don't want that. And the first movie doesn't have that many moments, if any. For me personally, watching the first movie, it is, for me, a brilliant story from beginning to end. Sure, there might be some scenes I would have done differently, but you know what? It's not my story. It's these other guys' story. And they did it really, really well. And it's a story that I can come back to again and again and think about all of its different layers, and it's so cool, and it just mishes. It just works. Zootopia 2 doesn't have that same kind of power because of the many moments in which it made mistakes that it didn't need to make. Its continuity was screwed up. And not the continuity with the first movie, its own inner continuity. And Tuggerman says, the fact that they used a twist villain way better than the original. They did. However, as I talked about earlier, like, they really could have done the twist villain better by just, again, convincing you. I needed to be convinced that Pauber was actually a good guy, and you didn't need to put in all that much more effort. I know that the movie was already pushing 2 hours, which for Disney is like, no, we cannot have a kids movie go 2 hours. But the little changes here and there that you could put in just to make more sense of certain scenes or certain characters is literally stuff that when you put it all together, you'd be surprised it only adds on like maybe 5 extra minutes tops. And that was something that I learned when I did video production in high school. My teacher said, you're going to run into these problems. You're either going to realize that you have way too much time still in your video that you now need to fill up because things just happen so fast, or you're going to find out that you've overfilled it and you now need to take things out. And it's actually way easier to overfill and then take stuff out of your story and still condense it and make it sense. That's when you're basically taking a novel and turning it into a novella. It can be done. It can be done very well. Trying to take a novella and turn it into a novel is actually harder because you're like, oh, I got to pad all that stuff on out. Gah! But in any case, that's talking books. When it comes to the script for Zootopia 2, it's overall fairly solid, but where it made its mistakes, those are mistakes that could have very easily been addressed with just a slight rewrite, which maybe 30 seconds more here or there to make more sense of what these characters are doing, what they're saying. Boom, you got it. It's like, for instance, with the journal. You literally can have all of the interesting interactions with the journal that provide more of a mystery, more insights into what it is, heighten the tension and the stakes around getting that journal. And that adds on maybe a minute of extra runtime. And it's a minute that the audience is more engaged with. So, anyways. Okay, so we've done Space and Time, we've done the ship, we've done the MacGuffin, and let's see here. Choice villain. So let's see here. Last things then for me to cover, on, at least on my list, is the world building, and what else? There was, I think, one more thing that I had on there. I got to scroll up now and be like, what was it? What else did I write up there to keep me from going completely off the rails? Where did I write that list? Oh well. So yeah, we'll get into world building, which I thought the world building was done very well for this movie. Mick says the thing is, Pauber seriously could have taken the high road and became good. He had the opportunity to change and become better than his corrupted family, but he blew it, or rather, the writers blew it. And here's the thing: is that Mimic, I do like the fact that Paubert had the opportunity to become better, and they chose to do differently. I thought that worked really well. It's just that, as Tyler brought up, he's probably the best example of a twist villain in Disney movies since Wreck-It Ralph. But he could have been written better, and that's one of those instances where I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, I actually wouldn't have complained about it too much, other than I began to see all these people saying, he's written so well, he's the perfect twist villain. I'm like, no, he's not the perfect twist villain. You want the perfect twist villain? Read Mistborn. be introduced to Tensoon. He also came the closest to winning. Yes. Yes. Oh, man. Okay. Look, before I talk about the world building, I just have to say this. I laughed I was actually the only one in the audience laughing when Pawbert goes into the maze after Judy and Nick, because that's a scene that they took right out of The Shining. And I was like, oh, what the heck? They did The Shining. So I'm laughing as the scene's getting super intense. And like everyone's like, what the heck is this guy laughing? Like, it's The Shining. They put The Shining into this movie. Oh my gosh, there were so many references. Actually, okay. Also, one thing I have to praise them for, I need to get a picture in order to show you guys why this joke works. It's just awful, and absolute kudos to Disney for or I should say, kudos to the writers for actually pulling this particular one off. So there's the Dick joke. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe. Yeah, I was waiting for you to talk about the Shining Ice Maze reference. Yes, they had the Shining in this movie. They had so many different references throughout this movie. There were so many moments where like, hey, you guys remember this other movie? Hey, you guys remember this other movie? Hey, you guys remember this other movie? But kudos to the creators of Zootopia 2 for getting a blatant dick joke into the movie. Yes, they actually got it on in there. Now, so let me pull this on up. Maybe I can get it. Here we go. So when they're talking about, oh, come on, show it to me. Why is it not showing? Maybe it's showing for you guys. Yeah, because I don't see it. Do you guys see the really cute, weird deer looking thingy? Yep, there it is. So it's showing. Why is it so weird? Why is it showing up on what you guys should be seeing, but it's not showing up for me on my Des and Noel? Yeah, so very young Des and Noel. So in the movie, there's a part where as they're chasing the anteater, and there's the chaos in the streets. They nearly crash into the parade for the 100th anniversary of Zootopia, and a Dick gets caught in a tuba, and for the next like 2-3 minutes within the movie, it's like, and there was a Dick caught in a tuba. And then Judy's dad's all like, oh my gosh, yeah, I really wanted, do you have more footage of the Dick getting unstuck from the tuba? And everybody's like, oh, the Dick is stuck in the tuba. And my oldest sister, she's like, are you hearing this? I'm like, yes, I'm hearing this. It's like, there's a Dick joke. And they kept coming back to it. that the Dick got stuck in a tuba. So, to make sense of the joke, in order for them to get around the fact that they made a Dick joke repeatedly in the movie, what you're looking at right there, that's a Dick. Dick is a very small deer creature. A very small Des and Noel. Right there. Very cute, very, very cute, cuddly creatures. Also, that reminds me, I've had an absolute blast this week discovering the roe deer in Estonia that this guy went and interviewed, and the deer just stares at him. This cute expression on its face. But yeah, so there you have it. There's the explanation of the joke. That's how the writers managed to sneak a Dick joke past the editors, and you know what? This is evidence. This is evidence that Bob Iger does not actually watch any of these movies, because I guarantee that Bob Iger, if he realized that there was a Dick joke in this movie, he would have pulled the plug on it. But no, it's there. Yeah, I think you were not alone. Baby Noelle is so cute. Yes, she is, both in the game and in this picture. Uh, yeah, but there you have it. There's the appreciation. The appreciation of the fact there was a dick joke in Zootopia 2, and they got away with it. All right, so world building. World building Zootopia 2, I really enjoyed. I like that we got explanations for the making of the city. We actually got to explore the introduction and also the hidden presence of reptiles in this world. Okay, awesome. And of course, we got to see more of Zootopia. We got to see that there's different power players behind the scenes, and it makes sense. It makes sense that the Lynxes wouldn't really ever get involved in the events of the first movie because they don't want to be in the spotlight. They are solitary creatures that enjoy their power. So it makes sense. And now it suddenly makes you wonder, okay, well, what else is going on there in Zootopia? We have the smuggling scene there towards the beginning. And so, okay, so now we know that there's far, far more just beyond the suburbs of Zootopia. And it makes you wonder what else is on out there. And it actually sets up fairly well in its own way the presence of the birds. The birds can now be introduced into the third movie. And and so yeah, where I thought that the second movie built very well on what was previously established in the first movie. We got to see a lot more of the underbelly of Zootopia, which I appreciated how fake a lot of it is. I enjoyed going into the swamp, and I did not think I was going to enjoy the swamp area as much as I did. That worked out very, very well, and it was fun having that contrast of the hillbilly and the city folk all right next to each other, and really playing up the whole fact that people from the city may think that they're smarter to know what's going on, but once you go into hillbilly land, you're in their territory. They know what they're doing. They might look like idiots to outsiders, but they're not. They understand their world. They understand their place in it. They thrive in it, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was very good use of expanding the world and exploring different territories, different environments. It just reminded me that Splash Mountain was changed. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, that's so just so dumb. I'm happy that I got to go on Splash Mountain one more time before everything changed. It was nice. Splash Mountain was nice, and I've seen what they've done with it for the Princess and the Frog. And in all honesty, make another ride for the Princess and the Frog. People would love to go. People would love that. People love Princess Tiana. People love the Princess and the Frog, but also people love Splash Mountain. You can keep Splash Mountain and you can expand and do other stuff. As Bob Iger. Bob Iger trying to get brownie points, but Bob Iger still has yet to figure out how to transform those brownie points into real brownies, as was shown in a recent video done by Valiant Renegade about how Disney's been losing billions of dollars this year and last year. It really is thanks to milking people for all they're worth at the parks that this company is still staying afloat. TV account, I had to leave and run an errand. What did I miss? I'm not sure when you left on your errand, TV account. So I started talking about the world building, talked about the dick joke that they managed to get past censors by using an actual dick. Hey. But one of the things that this movie continued to do well, that the first movie did also very well, was showing tons of world building in very brief snapshots. And this is something that I highly, highly encourage you as writers to do with your own stories. Show your world through snapshots. Find some creative ways to show aspects of the world. So, like for instance, because I got Steven Steel right here by me, I will use this as an example. A shameless promotion for my own book. So, in my book Bleed, Steam, and Steel, I really, really, really wanted to just explore this world, but good I did not have a good vehicle to do that because the stories that I was telling with Oscar, with General Wesley Arthur, with Zemon, with Lagertha, they're very self-contained. While Lagertha definitely has the most globe-trotting that we actually get to see, the thing is that her story is so focused on discovering why the gods are awakened again and why she and her partner Emil have been chosen to go on the quest. That's what she's focused on. So she's not like, ooh, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff, because she's just so hyper focused. And so instead, what I use the chapter headings that then set up the theme and the feel of each chapter, to also kind of provide a little bit of a view into this world, into its people, its culture, and its histories. But then I also have little brief moments where something is happening that gives you an idea of, oh, there's a little bit more to this world than I thought. So, like for instance, in chapter 4, I just opened up to this, the siege of Elantio, and the the events in this chapter are not of the siege of Elantio, but rather you get to witness a siege, and you get to compare the history of the siege of Elantio to what was actually happening then in the chapter under General Wesley Arthur. In this battle, the Franks defeated the Zizalonan fortress of Elantio, which oversaw the capital city, Vadicale. Elantio was built high atop a steep peak and equipped with enough cannons and munitions to obliterate an army coming through the mountain's exposed western pass. The Franks overthrew the fort and pinned down the city by advancing on all sides of the mountain simultaneously and overrunning the walls with numbers. A 2-year-long feat. So, gives you then a little bit of history right there. And let me then bump on over here to Asuka. Chapter 3, Kill at the Open. This battle technique is meant to win the fight the moment you draw your sword. You must position yourself against your opponent so that when you arc your blade from its sheath, it will sever one of your enemy's vital points and kill them. So there you have that. Let me pop that on over to Zemon. Spy Proverbs, Volume 1. A spy master's first duty is to king and country, but that does not mean he should let the king in on everything he plans. Iron Spy Master, circa 875. So through these little things here at the top of each these little chapter headings, you then get to see a little bit about this world. You get a sense that there is a culture here, that there's history here, there's people here who have lived in it, who have contributed to the world that the main characters are living in. It's not just some blank canvas that the story is painting, on. And so that's something that Zootopia does actually very well. When you see the long tubes of water, and that's even addressed. Hey, if you're not an aquatic kind of creature, then this is very dangerous for you to use this, which was something that wasn't addressed in the first movie. We get to have even more of like the different vending machines, the different homes, different styles of homes for these critters. We get to see what it's like for a mouse tattoo artist to work on a hippo. You get to see how the reptiles have utilized the swamps and the wreckage of previous civilizations to their own advantage. So all of these things, they're not, it's never anything that the story immediately draws all your attention to, but it's stuff that's happening, stuff that you can see in the background, or something that the main characters very briefly interact with that just helps you to realize how big, how vast, how intricate, how deep this world is. And it just makes Zootopia feel alive. And that's something that not too many stories these days do, and that's a real shame. And I was even watching a clip recently that was a clip of a larger video that was sent to me by my younger sister Anya, about how too many movies these days are shot with a particular lens that puts everything only into focus if it's in the foreground. If there's anything in the background, it becomes fuzzy, becomes indistinguishable. When you do that in a film, it only allows you to see the characters up close. You never get to see the world that they live in. Because you can't see the world that they live in, it doesn't make any sense. Everything feels disconnected. We don't just simply fall in love with the characters, but we fall in love with their world. And with something that Zootopia 1 and 2 do very well is they expand this insane, crazy, anthropomorphic animal world that is so complicated and yet feels like it actually works. And yes, I know that Film Theory came out with a really good analysis for why Zootopia would crash and burn, and they are 100% correct. I was very happy that they went into the science of how you can create storms and how Zootopia should basically be obliterating itself with self-contained hurricanes. That's all true. It actually makes total scientific sense, but for the sake of fantasy, because yes, at some point you do need to kind of check your brain a little bit. Yeah, you can say, I've accepted this, it's going to work out. And the movie tries to go out of its way to explain how these different biomes are regulated to avoid a disaster, because this movie even addresses the fact that they're very close to a disaster. So, hey, the movie acknowledges it. I'm willing to check out my brain for movie magic. Why then do I bring up such a big fuss for the whole time and space disparity, the continuity problems here in the second movie? It's because it's never addressed and it's repeated. That's the problem. When it's a mistake, okay, you can let a mistake go. If it's an oversight, okay, it's an oversight. We all do it. Is it a mistake that you try to address later on? Awesome, you got it. But when it's a mistake that repeats itself again and again and again, yeah, please no. I want them to bring the Gummy Bears as a 2D series. That theme song needs to come back now. Oh my gosh, yes, bring back the Gummy Bears. Gummy Bears are great. And Mick says, we need more Princess Tiara content in general. I'm still mad that they canceled that Princess the Frog 2D animated series they were planning. Yeah. Dang you, Bob Iger. It's because Bob Iger doesn't care about animation. Bob Iger needs to go. Bob Iger and all of his sycophants need to go. If that happens, Disney might have a chance at recuperating. Might. It's not definite. But you got to get Bob Iger out of there. All right, take another drink of water. All right. So, I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about with in regards to Zootopia 2. All in all, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think it was as good as the first movie. This was the last thing I did want to talk about. I think one of the reasons why this movie for me wasn't as good as the first was that you could tell that it had dumbed itself down from the first movie. One of the criticisms that's been flung, I would argue unfairly, at the first movie is that they're all like, if you're going to make a story about racism, why don't you commit? Slow your rolls there. This is a kids movie. And it's a kids movie that's being driven by a plot of disappearances. So we need to solve the disappearances. We need to address the big issue of racism in Zootopia, and it's a kids movie. Are you going, how do you take a 5-year-old, sit down a 5-year-old, and have a serious, in-depth conversation with an anthropomorphic bunny and fox, and speak on their level to explain the issues of systemic racism, of how there's various ways in which racism can manifest itself, from the overt to the subtle and all these other things in between? You can't. You can't. Or better yet, you could, but it would be at the detriment to a story that a kid would be interested in. The brilliance of the first Zootopia movie is that it does address so many various issues, but it does not solve them, nor does it necessarily explain them. because the creators of the first Zootopia are all like, look, we want to address this stuff, but we're also telling a fun story here. If you want to have a conversation with your kids about these greater issues, you can. And you can do it in a way that doesn't require a bunny and a fox. Because if I tried to talk to any kid about the issues of racism using a bunny and a fox, they would be thinking more along the lines of bunny and fox don't get along together because fox eats bunny. Makes good sense. Kids understand these things. And it wouldn't feel real to a kid. Something as serious as racism wouldn't feel real. That is a conversation for the adults in the room to have with those kids when those kids are ready to have it. A movie doesn't know when the kids are ready. Neither do the creators of that film. Plus, it's being made for kids. So it has to be entertaining. They need to have fun with it. But that doesn't mean that they can't address those issues. And Zootopia, first one, did a very good job at balancing out, here's the issues of prejudice, of racism, of generational misunderstandings and prejudice, of how people have internalized their identity, that I am this one thing, therefore you are my enemy. And we see how this is done on both sides, which is something that made people really upset. Like, no, racism only goes one way. Reality check, racism goes all directions. It's one of the reasons why it's so pernicious, why it's such a vile thing, and why it needs to be stamped out. Also, never mind. I will stop myself. I'll stop myself before we become more political than Camille's Harem is supposed to get. So I shall stop it there. But that's a message that anyone should be able to understand. And what's annoying is that when people are all like, Disney's always lecturing to me, yet the one movie that they wanted Disney to use as a lecture was Zootopia. No, it's not going to work. It's a kids movie, for crying out loud. It addressed what it needed to do, and it left it up to the parents to do the rest. In many ways, it's kind of like Pocahontas. I understand that the movie Pocahontas is totally ahistorical. I get that. Believe you me, I get that. The movie Pocahontas I find very valuable because it so blatantly addresses the core problem that has existed since the real events of Pocahontas, and unfortunately has existed for hundreds of years since. And it's that people do not like each other because of differences. And that is a simple of enough concept and lesson that you can teach to a kid through a movie that the kid's all like, I shouldn't hate people because they're different from me. Very good. Very good. Yes, that's the lesson you need to get. Same thing for Zootopia. I shouldn't hate other people because they're different from me. Excellent. That is the most important thing for you to get out of this movie. The movie shows that there's many ways that can manifest itself. The adults realize that's racism in its many different forms. And so then the adults can step in and say, look, kid, look, son, look, daughter. This movie talked about this one thing. In the real world, it's like this. So in a real world situation, you need to think about this. You need to act this way. So the parents can then teach the kids the proper way to do things, how they can avoid being prejudicial towards others, how they can avoid assimilating the ideas of racism into their own lives. That is up to the families of these kids to teach, not to a movie, and especially a movie that was made for entertainment. Now, how does this apply to Zootopia 2? Because Zootopia 2 did not address any of that stuff. No. When Nick is all like, I don't like reptiles, he gets over that instantly. As the pitch guy, the guy who does the videos about like pitching movies, like barely a problem, not even an inconvenience. Yeah. Nick's prejudice, none of that's all good. The Lynx stealing the land of the natives. Never mind. This is a whole Lynx thing, predators growing the territory. It's only a one sentence thing we're going to bring up. Because Disney is like, we are now terrified of people calling us out for introducing heavy topics and not lecturing. But they also don't want us to lecture. So better just to avoid it altogether. And you know what? It doesn't hurt the movie necessarily. I don't think it does. Like, you don't need to draw loads of parallels to colonialism and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is that the first movie would have done it, and so when the second movie omits it, it's like, you dumbed it down there. And this actually then leads us to, why is it that The Shining is introduced? Why is there a dick joke in the movie? It's because the writer is like, oh my gosh, well, if I can't get serious through cultural references to real world issues, I can get serious by speaking to adults through cultural references that they will not get offended by, except for maybe the dick joke. And hence why there's so many references to so many other movies. I mean, you've got 2 different references to Tangled. You got the reference to The Shining. We've got a reference to Jaws. I mean, we got all this stuff going on in this movie. We got a reference to The Lord of the Rings, specifically the 2 Towers. So you got all this stuff. You got all this stuff going on, and for the adults, it's like, haha, I know that reference. 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 I feel fine. This movie speaks to me, and so it really dumbed down any sort of messaging that it could have had. And again, it's not necessarily bad, but because the first movie did get risky in that way, it was bold. At least bold to a certain extent. When the second movie is not as bold, it's noticeable. And so that's it then becomes a bit of a disappointment, at least to me. Tiagan says, I think these days, mostly parents, because they think the media will explain everything. Yes, and because there have been moments in media where they over-explain or try to preach to the audience. Mimic Bob Iger needs to retire. Enough said. He had his time and has overstayed his welcome. Time to pack up, old man. Oh yeah. Bob Iger he's been there way too long. Or says, I mean, everyone remembers the fight between the raccoon and the pug for food. I think that's why parents didn't really like how Bluey's The Sign concluded. Mostly parents who are probably afraid to just tell their kids why they're moving. Sorry for ranting. I know. That's good, Bram. I haven't watched Bluey, so unfortunately that reference is not clicking with me. But no, I can understand that. If you have a story that's like, hey, so this is about moving can be rough for kids. It says, I said this earlier, but when I first saw the Lynx family in Power 2, they sort of gave me the slight Lackadaisy vibes, which I really like. Oh, yes. That good Lackadaisy, especially the villains in Lackadaisy. I cannot wait, and I'll wait for the first season. It's going to be bonkers. I don't know how many of you have read the comics for Lackadaisy, but oh boy. I appreciate the comics for Lackadaisy because I'm like, yep, that fits wonderfully for a Prohibition story. So good. All right, so those are basically all my thoughts for Zootopia 2. Looking forward to the third one. I didn't think that this one was as good as the first Zootopia, but I know a lot of other people did enjoy it. I think I need to hear from more people a good breakdown for like why they enjoyed it more. I think a lot of it just comes down to it's a fun movie. It's a movie that you can check out and just enjoy it. If you're like me, who wants to engage more with the story, like I said, the moment you start thinking more about certain scenes, the more it begins to fall apart, which is, in my opinion, detrimental to good storytelling. And there's definitely some obvious mistakes that were made here and there. So, yeah, that's my breakdown as a storyteller. I feel like this movie could have been tight. This movie, not necessarily tightened up, but this movie could have been elaborated on just a little bit better to truly make it stronger, and then it would have worked because there's a lot of really great stuff in it. And if you dumb it down, fine, you dumb it down. Disney is scared these days. Okay. I will say it's the beaver. I thought that she was going to annoy the crap out of me, but I never really liked her. She was funny. She was really funny. And that's the one thing I do have to say for this movie. The humor was good. The humor was good. Art says, if you watch it for the characters alone, is worth it. I feel like Judy and Nick's relationship advanced, but they're skirting the romance angle. Their relationship is progressing. They saved the romance bit for the very last shot of the movie, where Judy's there replaying Nick again and again. I love you, I love you, I love you, on the carrot, and that's when I'm like, okay, we're going for romance in the next movie. The next movie will be dedicated to romance. And so as a slow burn to romance, I'm totally fine with that. And they did good by helping them as a partnership to really grow. And the trauma dumping, like, I know some people are like, oh man, that felt like a bit much. But I'm like, no, that was good. That was well written. I would probably have had that suit earlier in the movie, but for what they did, really good stuff. And the chemistry, they had like great chemistry in the writing, and the voice actors absolutely brought it. So all good stuff. And you can't help but like a movie just a little bit more when you got the voice actor for Kronk, Patrick Warburton, playing the dumb mayor. Also, I think that because they were going to take their time, because the writer is taking his time with building up to an actual romance between Judy and Nick, that's kind of why we got the whole family angle at the very beginning of the movie, where they show up as a small family with Toot. That scene was ridiculous, yet it works. It was funny, and because they did not dive into the romance in this movie, that was there purely for the shippers. Like, yes, we know what you guys want. We're giving it to you, like, sneakily. We're not going to give it to you for real just yet. we got work to do. All right, taking a drink of water, and let's shift gears. Let's talk about the Amazing Digital Circus. Woohoo! We've got the trailer for the next episode, and it feels like it's going to be a doozy. I am very excited for episode 7. Or it says, just like Toby Fox with that whole hair scene in chapter 3. Yes. Chris saves Susie from death, and Susie is like, "Oh, you wanted to sift my hair? Fine, I admit it. I drank your shampoo. Here, you can then sample some of mine." Oh, Susie, how we love you. So for this next part, we'll watch the trailer. We'll break it down a little bit and then see where we go from there. And I'll admit, I was actually kind of surprised with how little we got in this trailer. But let's see what we can mine out of it.
The next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to soak in the sun as everyone has a fun-filled day at the beach.
Wait, we gotta go back.
To soak in the sun as everyone has a fun-filled day.
Kinger, you need to get a tan, my good man. Oh, it's so blinding. Anyways.
At the beach. On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to soak in the sun as
Oh, and there we got Jax. That's a little creepy. And we got a picture of Jax behind him. We're going to come back to this.
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to...
Kane's office.
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. On the next episode,
I remember having to do
it's
with,
time, it's 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 time,
I think I found the way to leave.
in 1 week. All right. So there we have it. There's our trailer. Again, not necessarily a whole lot to go off of. However, I do have to say that I very much appreciate seeing how Gangle is without her mask. Let the tears flow and wave about in the breeze. It just shows good character development for her, and that just makes me happy. Probably also means that something horrible is coming, but I mean, while we have it, while we got it, I will enjoy it. I will appreciate it. But yes, we have the obligatory beach episode, because as per the rules of anime, there must always either be a beach episode or a hot springs episode. Why? Well, the fan service. And oh my, what kinds of fan service we are getting. Just look at those coils. I mean, there's someone out there that's doing something for them. In any case, and Azubal predictably is under the umbrella, trying to not get scorched. Now it's all looking good. And then then hanging out there, catching some sun rays. I will, as speaking as a pasty white guy myself, I will admit I have never enjoyed just trying to soak up a tan at the beach. Because I will burn. I will burn at the beach. If I want a tan, I'm going to go for a hike, and get the good rays that way. If I'm at the beach, I want to be in the water. I'm still going to get burned, but at least it's going to be cool. Oh my gosh, Lars is showing nudes of coils. Yeah, I know. Oh, we're going into Camille's harem after dark at this point. Here we got Ragatha, we got Pomni hanging on out there. You know what? I really wish I still had this one swimsuit. I had a swimsuit that I had made specifically for a mock beauty pageant in high school, Mr. Mountain View. And I had a full body striped bathing suit, like 1920s style, made for myself, and I went out like for the swimsuit wear. So like for the swimwear, where like all the guys are showing off their hot bods, so they're wearing like Speedos, and then there's me. I come out and I'm wearing a full body swimsuit from the 1920s. That was fun. But yeah, so obviously we're being oh my gosh, I'm overusing OMG too much. No overusing here. So obviously a lot of what we're getting right here is meant to help kind of set the expectations for we're going to get a nice day at the beach. After all this complaining to Kane about how the adventures have not been any kind of fun, how they're always messed up in some kind of way. And we've seen this repeatedly, that even when they're supposed to have like the more chill adventures, there's always something that goes wrong. It finally seems like they're having a day where it should be just right. And then we hop on over here. What's interesting is that you can see, at least of the doors so far, is that these seem to be the doors to the little mannequins. This is the room, like this is the hallway where we got to see Kaufmo abstract, where we had the first chase in the first episode. And so this is just a beautifully eerie way of something just coming back here, making you realize, like, yeah, no, it's not going to be that way. That whatever beach adventures they're going to be are going to get interrupted in the worst way possible. Anyway, hello, I'm back. Had to make a quick phone call. By the way, I wonder if we'll get to see Jackson's Speedo too. Probably not, but it'd be interesting. Man, Jackson's Speedo, whew, we're going to send the fans going into a tizzy. From what I gather from this trailer, the beach day might be a secret means to perform a coup. Could be. That'd be neat. I'm here to see a coup. But I like the way that the camera shakes just a little bit, almost like someone's doing a heavy breathe, like someone's heavily breathing before it begins to glitch out. And then whoop, we go back. On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, days at the beach. And then poof, here we come to Jax. As Jax is in that mode, like his eyes. We've seen this before when his eyes go whoop, really small. Is when he's legit scared and worried about something, or when he's angry. In this case, based off of how he's looking, this is probably him freaking out. I would not be surprised if this is him either realizing that there's something in his room that he does not want to have there. Maybe he's going through a bad memory. Maybe he's having a bad nightmare, like kind of what Pomni went through in episode 2. When she dreamed that she was abstracting, or like what was happening to Gangle at the end of episode 4, where she was getting so close to abstracting. This is probably what's happening to him here in the shot. Now, in the background, where there's a picture of him, and the question is, is there anyone else? What I think, so over in the top right-hand corner of the photograph, it's blurry, but I think that that's supposed to be Kaufmo. You can see what looks to be a clown. You see the beady eyes, you see the big lips, the conical hat. I think that's supposed to be Kaufmo right there. And then off to the left, I think that is supposed to be Ribbit. So, I think that we're going to see three different. I think that we're going to see that there's three different people in that picture. And here's the thing: is that if that's true, if this is Jax with a photo of people that he actually has cared about in the past, this suddenly puts into a whole new context Kaufmo's abstraction. Like, we've already been given plenty of hints that Ribbit's abstraction is something that really got to him in one way or another, either because he caused it or because it happened and it freaked him out. But if this is indeed Kaufmo, who that we see there in the shadowy background, that could then mean that whatever happened with Kaufmo's abstraction really got to him a whole lot more, or meant more to him than he's been letting on this whole time. We did see that he got really upset when everyone had the funeral for Kaufmo, and he decided not to participate. The most recent episode would make it appear as if he either was just being a jerk to Kaufmo, or this is his way of trying to disassociate from all of that stuff. But this one shot right here says that maybe it's a little bit more personal. Say, Shade, you missed us watching the trailer before breaking it down. Jax is about to abstract. Hopefully you're not here for it. Oh, poor Jax. I mean, he brings a lot of it on himself. Next time on the Amazing Digital Circus. All right, so we've got Kane's office. We're finally going to get a little bit more. Excuse me. Art says his means to prevent the abstraction only led to him becoming closer to abstraction than normal. I would agree with that. I think that that's what's going on here. So we've already seen variations of Kane's office in different adventures, but I don't think we've actually ever seen his office, what it actually looks like, where he pops off to when he wants to create his adventures. I think that that's what we're going to experience here in his office. And because we've already been shown in the promotional material the exit door, I think we're going to learn that he's been keeping information about the exit in his office, either trying to understand it, figure out how to use it, or trying to keep it away from the others. We don't know yet. And that's just pure speculation right now. Next time on the Amazing Digital Circus. And we then just cut on over to here. Look at that. Mr. Football hanging out there in the background, all creepy like. We might finally come to understand what the heck is going on here with this mannequin, why it's been following them this whole time. Let's see here. Or says his whole speech to Pomni's attempt to reach out to him only made him worse. He had a panic attack not too long after in the bathroom. Yep. She says, I'm confused. We did see his office. What do you mean about that? So in, let's see here. In episodes 4 and 5, you get to see variations of his office. So, for instance, when Gangle goes in to meet with him, and also when she calls him to punish Jax because he's not doing his job in the restaurant, we get to see him in an office area. And there's some interesting stuff in that office, but it's questionable if that's his true office, because he's clearly made it to look like what he thinks a CEO's or manager's office would look like for a food chain. And then in episode 5, up in the announcer's box. Announcers' boxes are where the announcers kind of make themselves home. They've got their own little memorabilia, their own odds and ends, things that make them feel at home while they're doing their job, all over the place there. And so we kind of get an idea for how Kane likes to surround himself with certain things. He does surround himself with things that make him feel comfortable. And that's actually been established in many ways by his conversations with Zooble, like how he's trying to create adventures that make people like him and to have fun there in the circus. And so we kind of get an idea that Kane likes to surround himself with things that make him feel comfortable. So, but have we really seen his own inner sanctum where he makes his stories? We haven't yet. So that's what we're going to have to see. Yeah, I think Mr. Football is trying to get revenge for Mrs. Basketball. He says, by the way, I know the Zootopia conversation has ended, but that Beaver character was absolutely hilarious, and I love her. She kind of reminded me of myself, honestly. No, I love the Beaver character as well. What's her name again? Because it was funny because like I could not remember her name. But yeah, no, she was really good. Beaver name is Nibbles. Nibbles Maplestick. Yeah, no, Nibbles was good. She was a good character. Good addition to the overall story. Absolutely. All right. And then, so that was interesting. We definitely get some stuff happening there in the white noise. It looks like Jax. Though it could also be Kane. It's probably actually Kane based on the hands, and that we see the two disembodied eyes. It's probably Kane. So we'll go through that again. Yeah, definitely Kane. But then everything just starts wigging out after that. So we got Zooble getting knocked up, getting laid out. Some are like, wait, what the heck is going on? Whatever is going on here in this moment, there's really nothing to quite glean from what the heck is going on with Ragatha and Pomni. Ooh, the exit door all blurred out. I still believe someone is messing with the game and found a way out. Maybe there's interference from the outside world finally. It's time. Now then, a neat little shot. Let's see if we can get back to that. The keys. Remember how Jax has keys to everyone's room. So we're probably going to find out something about those keys. You don't have a shot on all those keys for nothing. Shade says, I remember the creator Goosework said this episode will make a lot of people hate him and hate the show or something similar. Yep. I can see that this episode will get dark. And that's what this trailer is supposed to help us to prepare ourselves for, is that it's like everything seems nice and rosy, beach episode, only it's going to go way off the rails. let's get some of that stuff again. Some of the imagery. So the keys, the door. Here we got it. Here we got a hand. And it's a little tiny golden hand that looks like it's being held up probably by Pomni. So we have a mystery. Who's got a golden hand? Or who could have a golden hand? Why is there a golden hand? What is a golden hand? King Midas? I didn't expect you here. And then possibly Bubble, or it's a crystal ball. Yes, I can see us all. Here in this orb, whether it's Bubble or crystal ball, you can see that there is a little house there. If you pay attention, it's kind of off to the left. There is a little house. I can't tell if this is some sort of odd negative, and so we're missing a lot of the color, or maybe this is in an ice area. So this house will probably end up being significant in some kind of way. The golden hand key exit in the circus. Maybe they get the little tiny golden hand. You got to insert it somewhere. Don't lose it because it's so freaking small. Reminds me of the ice islands in Deltarune Chapter 3. I was thinking the exact same thing, Ards. Odd. Gooseworks and Toby Fox are in collaboration with each other. We'll see Chris, Susie, and Ralsei at some point in this episode. Unfounded conspiracy theory. All right, and here we've got Kane once again. Showing off all the code. Okay. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys, but at work, a couple of times I've had to do stuff on a computer for computer security over at the Biosphere. I'm not really a computer guy. I really don't understand computers all that well. But there are times they're like, okay, we now need you to go into the code. I'm like, you need me to go into the code? I'm not a programmer. And they're like, don't worry. We've got instructions for you. And I feel like Samuel, each time they have me go into the code and fix things in computers, I just start thinking to myself that I'm living out that moment from Jurassic Park where Samuel Jackson is typing into the commands. He's typing in the commands and he's like, access main program grid. Access main security. And then suddenly, you didn't say the magic word. And please! Damn it, I hate this hacker crap. It's just, that's what it feels like to me. Chris, where the hell are we? I want to see that reference in the next episode. I love it. If it doesn't happen in the episode, we can make it happen. It's the power of fans and of editing. But thinking again of Kane's office, I wouldn't be surprised if this is in his office area, because here he's at a table set for one. We see a plant in the background, a little vase, a table. It seems homey. So, well, hang on to your butts. Exactly. So, yeah. Maybe this is in his office. We don't know. It's just pure speculation right now on my part. But it seems a little bit more homey here than when we saw him, for instance, in the restaurant with Bubble back in the pilot episode. Oh, wait. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see a little jump scare from all the way from a creepypasta, all the way back from Slender Man? See if we can catch that again. Slender Man. Yeah, oh, dang it. I will get you, Slender Man. There we go. Dang it. Okay, pull it back. All right, so there we've got weird Kane fuzzing on out. That blue screen gives me anxiety. Oh, yes. Definitely anxiety-inducing. There we go. Oh, that's so creepy. Oh, I didn't even realize he has a smile on his face. Wipe that off. I'll take Slender Man, please. Oh, that's so creepy. And the way it's like reaching out. It's like, I've got you, buddy. Or it's like, I'm going to choke the life out of you. Oh, man, Slenderman takes me way back. Yeah. Now, I remember back in the heyday of Slenderman, there was like one time where just like driving around, I thought I actually saw Slenderman, and it freaked me out so bad I nearly crashed. Another time, actually, and after watching The Woman in Black for the first time, when I was driving back home from the theater, I swear I saw The Woman in Black in like 3 or 4 different places, including at my own house. So like when I pulled up into the into the driveway in the dark, I saw The Woman in Black, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going inside. Same, I'm not a computer guy, but my parents forced me to study computer science in college. Oof. Yeah, definitely not my strong suit. It goes over my head. Hey, Star Drop Mellow is here. Woohoo! Great to have you arrive. But yeah, no, man, this creepy face. So maybe, and speculation here. So actually, I'm going to throw out 2 different theories. One theory is this is Mr. Football, and this is Mr. Football with a face, and it's going to be so creepy. Second theory is this is what the mannequins are actually the abstracted people, or at least part of them. That would be super creepy and messed up. It's like, you thought like it's not just what abstracted. There's more to you, and we've turned each time that someone abstracts parts of them, then become the NPCs in the game. Oh, that'd be absolutely twisted, and I could totally see that being the case. Star Diamond says, it's been so long I forgot that you were posting a live video. Yeah, I should have announced that on our Discord. But yeah, no, it's been a while, but it was time to do a live stream. Also, I should repeat this later, but so because this is the month of Christmas time, and I'll be spending time with my family doing our things. Next week should be a live stream on Friday as per usual. The week after, I might either do the live stream on Thursday or on Saturday. But after that, no live streams until the New Year, because it'll be Christmas time, it'll be New Year's. I'll be hanging out with family and with friends, so I won't be able to do a live stream. All right. Creepiness. But we're finally going to see what's in Jax's room. So yeah, opening up Jax's door. Ragtha looked a little bit concerned. The door is here's something that I think is going to be significant, and it is how the door looks as it's glitching right there. Let's see if we can catch that. And come on, give it to me. Oh, dang it. So there's 3 circles. Now then, could that just be flavor? Maybe. Let's see if we can get it. Ah, dang it. Missed it. I'm going to try one more time. I don't think you guys might have seen it. Maybe there's nothing there, but there are those 3 circles. Could be important. Maybe it isn't. We're just going to find out. But one of the things I do like is how this trailer is pointing us back to the exit. That this is, again, going to be a big thing. And as we heard back from Kinger in the first episode, that Kaufmo also began going crazy and cuckoo when he said that he had seen an exit door. And so we might start understanding better what the exit actually means. Now, I know that it's very popular to say that Kane is the bad guy in all of this. I don't think that he is. If we're going to take Gooseworks at her word that Kane is just trying to make things better for the humans, but he doesn't understand what humans are or how they function, which is why he keeps making their lives absolutely miserable. It's not intentional. And what I think is going on here is that Kane probably understands to a certain degree what the exit door means. And it's probably something bad. It's probably not the exit out of the game. And that he's been trying to find a way to either prevent them from seeing the exit door or to make the exit door lead to somewhere else so they feel fulfilled when they see it and go through it, rather than experience whatever nastiness the exit door might actually have in it. Because while it's like, ooh, this door is opening to the bright beyond, we still have 2 more episodes to go. There's no way that this is actually a good thing. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Nards also saw the alternate door. Theory time. Kane's growing instability is causing the abstracted to ooze out of their prison and into the circus proper, using the NPCs as vessels. Oh, I like that. Actually, Arts, let's run with that a little bit, because that would make sense of what happened in episode 3 with the haunting of Mildenhall Manor. Because you have the spirits that possess Pomni, and like, so how is your wife, Kinger? Like, it's so demented. You're like, why would Kane put that into the game and put that into the adventure? Why would that be a thing? And they're obviously trying to escape with Pomni's body. It could be that those are the people who have abstracted. And also remember that Gangle saw a person that was like her, but not exactly her, with the same weird creepy smile, messing up her face. All right, not that she saw it. That's what Ragatha saw when she got the crazy sauce in her eye. And so you might be onto something there, Arts. Maybe it is that all of the weird stuff with the abstractions are actually the other people who've abstracted leaking out and either trying to take over NPCs or maybe even in some cases trying to take over the players themselves. So we'll see. This could be very interesting. Next says, speaking of Slenderman, wasn't there a horrifying crime case years ago where 2 friends attempted to unalive their own best friend in order to pledge their allegiance to Slenderman? Yep. That is something that actually happened. Yeah, don't give yourselves over to weird, crazy conspiracy theories online, especially anything tied to creepypasta. Creepypasta is just there to make you feel weird. Do not believe it. All right, so that's what we've got. So we can look forward to the episode next week. That's gonna be cool. Hey, Scooty Boo's here. Whoa, I just came into a wild sentence. What? Actually, Stupid Sauce is my favorite, or where I just said, don't believe in the creepypastas. Don't worry, creepypasta isn't real. It can't hurt you. All right, honey. All right. After you have spent time tearing up paper in my office, you now want out. Fine, I'll let you out. Go forth, fat cat, be free. Scott says the creepypasta stuff. If abstractions like death, then the possibility of them possessing NPCs to resurrect themselves is up there for me. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's something that we can't rule out. And I like the idea. I say, actually, maybe I'm not surprised I didn't think of it sooner, because I kind of took it a little bit more at face value what's going on. Because the idea of abstraction itself is already just absolutely bonkers and horrifying to contemplate. But now adding on an extra layer about what those abstracted minds or souls could possibly be doing and how they could be affecting the NPCs. Oh, yeah. And that would be very interesting, for instance, like let's say with Gummy Goo. So like, what if Gummy Goo was once a player? Was once there, and that what we've met of Gummy Goo is just has just been what's been reappropriated. Or was he something that was actually programmed entirely from Kane? This throws a whole new wrench into everything that we know if that theory is true. Oh, Yeah, next episode is going to be wild. Can't wait. But yeah, I do believe. Oh, Rocky from Lackadaisy, my love. Yes, good Rocky. So I do believe that was everything that I had planned for tonight. Talking about the trailer for the Amazing Digital Circus. Talked extensively about Zootopia 2. Talked just a little bit about Adventure Time. Got some Lars lore. And yeah, is there anything else that people would like to chat about before we then wrap things up here? And it gives me a chance to take another drink of water. Oh yes, what about Froher Sankt Nikolausabend? So, thank you for the reminder. How could I forget Sankt Nikolausabend? First let me address I'm Omega. Honestly, thought it would be more like the source material where each one would accidentally go insane in challenges, but it looks like I'm going to get my wish. All right, so tonight is Sankt Nikolausabend. And I know I've talked about this in a live stream either last year. But tonight, if you celebrate the German tradition, this is the night that Saint Nicholas shows up to put candy and goodies, nuts and fruit into the shoes of good boys and girls. And this is also the night that if you do the full German tradition, that you would then select the poem or song that you will recite or sing on Heilige Abend. So on the 24th, in the German tradition, that's when Christmas really gets underway. That is the advent of the Christ child, which is not Jesus Christ himself, but is an angel who shows up with white horses and brings gifts into your house. The children will leave the room that's been designated for the Christ child to show up. The Christ child goes into that room, decorates the Christmas tree, and leaves the presents out there for the kids to enjoy. The kids cannot, though, get their presents until they've recited the poem or the song that they chose earlier for the night, because it's just kind of like a thing of like, okay, then, like, we understand everyone wants their presents, and this is kind of a way of ensuring that the kids just don't go all crazy over the gifts. There's maybe a little bit of order to things. It's basically where it comes from. But you're expected to again choose a song or a poem. When you're an adult like I am, you don't have to do it, but I still enjoy it because I like getting into the feel of the Christmas season. So let me share with you guys the song that I'm going to try to learn for this year. It's not a very difficult one, but it's one that, I'll be honest, in all my years, I have actually never learned to sing it. So I'm going to challenge myself. He says, ooh, better leave my shoes outside tonight then. Thanks, Lars. Okay, back in grad school, I used to go around on Sankt Nikolausabend, and I dressed up and I'd ask people to give me their shoes, and then I put candy into their shoes and would move on. It's just fun. I know a lot of people thought me really weird. In hindsight, it was kind of weird, but I enjoyed doing it. And when you enjoy doing what you're doing, you enjoy doing what you're doing. Plus, also, I was the only one in my area that really celebrated these particular traditions. So to help keep them alive, I brought them to everyone else. You must have gotten a lot of stinky shoes. Oh, I definitely got some stinky shoes. But that was up to those people to resolve, because once I put the candy into the shoes, that's on them. They should have watched their shoes better. So let me share with you guys the song that I intend to learn, and then I will sing for Heilige Abend. Share the screen. Make sure that I'm sharing the entire screen, and boom, the eternal swirl is there. Okay, popping on over here. So here is the song Fröhliche Weihnacht. And it's an alte Schrift too. Look at this. So nice. Die Musik kommt aus England. So here's the song. Fröhliche Weihnacht überall, tünnet durch die Lüfte, frohe Schar. Weihnachtston, Weihnachtsbaum, Weihnachtsduft in jedem Raum. Fröhliche Weihnacht überall, tünnet durch die Lüfte, frohe Schar. So basically, Merry Christmas everywhere. Or sing it through. So sound it through the air with a merry cry. Weihnachtston. So Weihnacht sounds, Christmas sounds. The Christmas trees is the Weihnachtsbaum. Weihnachtsduft in jedem Raum. The feel of Christmas in every room. Then again, Merry Christmas everywhere. Sound it through the air with a happy cry. Darum, let's see it. Darum alle stimmet in den Jubelton, denn es kommt das Licht der Welt von des Vaters Thron. So this then says, so darum alle stimmet in den Jubelton. So everyone sing together in the joyous choir, or the joyous sound. And because the light comes to the world from the Father's throne. Licht auf dem dunklen Wege, unser Licht bist du. So light up the dark way, our light is you. The you being Jesus coming to the world. Denn du first die Vertrauen. What's this? That's Sinn zur selgen Ruhe. Yeah, you'll take all those who have believed on you, who've trusted you, to the holy rest. Let's see here. That should be mir. Was mir anderen taten, sei getan für dich. Das Bessen. Oh boy, das Bessen jeder muss. Christkind kam für mich. Okay. And I've never known this particular verse as well. I've never heard it. Was mir anderen taten, sei getan für dich. Das Bessen jeder muss. Christkind kam für mich. So basically, best way to just translate this right here. What others could do, only what others could have done, only you could do. That you came here for me. Christ child has come here for me, as the meaning of that particular verse. So this is the song that I am going to try to learn. Now then, it might seem pretty simple, especially Lars, you already know German, but the music is something else. Because it's fast. This is fast, and I've already been talking now for nearly 3 hours, so my singing voice is not going to be all that great, but it kind of goes like this. Fröhliche Weihnacht überall, tünnet durch die Lüfte, frohe Schar. Weihnachtston, Weihnachtsbaum, Weihnachtsduft in jedem Raum. Fröhliche Weihnacht überall, tünnet durch die Lüfte, frohe Schar. So it's supposed to go that fast. I'll stop sharing. There we go. Well, the song in German sounds like a magical song to summon a Christmas demon. Yes, we will summon Krampus. Krampus to come and deal with you all. Krampus, komm für dich. Sei brav, meine Kinder. Der Krampus kommt. Auf diese Nacht. Alle die böse Kinder. Herr Lohn von Krampus bekommen. So, actually, depending on where you are in German-speaking Europe, this would actually also be the night where Krampus would come. If you're up in northern Germany, you just deal with Sankt Nikolaus. If you are in middle/southern Germany, you're dealing with Knecht Ruprecht, who joined Sankt Nikolaus. So Sankt Nikolaus, the churchy Santa Claus. So rather than Santa Claus in his big poofy red coat and everything, you get the Santa who's all dressed up in his priestly robes with this golden crook and his big pointed hat, and you then get Knecht Ruprecht. If you want a good representation for Knecht Ruprecht, I can also try to find a picture. But Knecht Ruprecht is effectively basically Hagrid. He's Santa's Hagrid. And yes, okay, I got a picture right here. Sankt Nikolaus and Ruprecht. But if you are further south and you're now going into Austria, the Austrians are definitely all about Krampus. And so Krampus will instead come with Sankt Nikolaus. And if you've been bad, then Krampus takes out his chains, takes out his whip, and he beats the kids and throws them into a basket on his back as he then carts the kids away. Let's see here. No, I don't want a video file. I want to have the image file to bring up Sankt Nikolaus and Knecht Ruprecht. So there you go. So that would be what you could expect to see if you ran into people dressed up as Sankt Nikolaus and Knecht Ruprecht. When my mom was a kid, and they don't do this anymore, at least not in any of the big cities where I was in Germany. Unfortunately, this would have been awesome. But in her small town, decades ago, on this particular night, there were people who would dress up as Sankt Nikolaus and Knecht Ruprecht and go from house to house. She and her friends filled up a pail of water, and when the Knecht Ruprecht actor came to the apartment complex, they dumped the water over the balcony and doused him. And he, it's cold. It's December 5th in Germany. It's freezing cold. And so he's like, I'm going to get you kids, and tried to get them. Because back in the day, these guys actually did have switches. They had sprigs of a tree that were usable for beating kids if the kids have been bad. Imagine Azrael dressed up as a Krampus, a big, giant, adorable goat fluff ball of a Krampus. He would work really well. This would be something. If anyone wants to write some fan fiction, this would actually be fantastic. Azrael as Krampus, and then has to go and bring Chris to justice. Won't do it because, let's face it, Azrael couldn't do that to his sibling. Reminds me of a fan comic where Des tells Chris, Noel, and Ezzy about Krampus eating bad little kids later on for sleeping. Chris is awake, wide eyes, looking for Krampus. There's that, and I also saw the other comic where Toriel comes in and she's like, oh, humans don't turn to dust. They're just they just turn into a corpse, and Chris and Noel are sleeping soundly, and it's actually Des and Azrael who are like wide-eyed awake, horrified at the idea that corpses would actually be a thing. Well, thank you, Shade, saying I've got a good voice. I am in a choir with my church, and I did used to do musical theater. Merry Christmas, get it? Yeah, I got it. He's alive. Phew. As he pokes Chris. Okay, he's alive. And then Chris, wide red eyes. That'd be fantastically creepy. Now let's see here. Thinking about songs. Last year I sang for my song Silver and Gold. I can't remember if I translated it into German or not for it. I think I might have just sung it in English. Which, that's a beautiful song. Silver and Gold is a beautiful song. I do enjoy that one. I think it'd be fun for the next live stream to take you guys through some great Christmas stories from my childhood through movies, through movies, stuff that you guys can have a look at and just enjoy. And by the way, frohe Weihnachten to you as well, Miss Lars. Well, thank you. Yeah, frohe Weihnachten, wir alle. Es ist egal, ob ihr Weihnachten feiert oder nicht. Bro, look like an RPG character. Trying other platforms other than Reddit. And anyone who reads my stuff, I started posting on Tumblr. Awesome. Let's see here. There's actually, I thought of this earlier. I'm going to pull up a. Oh, I don't want that. Let's see here. We're going to do Oreo 1980s Christmas commercial. This could bring down the whole stream. We're gonna find out. Is Lars foolish enough to risk an entire stream for this moment? Yes, he is. Oof. Yeah, walking stick beating. Yeah. Maybe one day you should just do a stream where you speak just German the entire time and not have any English subtitles. Oh, Mensch. Das wäre eigentlich ein Abendtraum. Da niemand von euch würde mich irgendeinen Weg verstehen. Und das Problem ist auch, dass bestimmt irgendwann während des Streams wird ein echter Deutscher oder eine echte Deutscherin reinkommen und sagen, Mensch, dieser Kerl kann kein Deutsch. Nein, die Deutschen sind wirklich aber sehr höflich. Und sie werden sagen, okay, er versucht Deutsch zu sprechen. Und er spricht die meisten von den Wörtern eigentlich ganz gut. Aber seine Grammatik braucht viel mehr Übung. Das würden sie sagen. Unbedingt. There you go. How is that for you, Mivik? Oh Mensch, ich muss wirklich mein Deutsch öfters üben. Das wäre ganz schlecht, wenn ich die Fähigkeit für Deutsch verliere. Und ich kenne schon so viele Leute, die Deutsch nicht mehr können. Ich habe mit ungefähr 120 anderen Missionar in Deutschland und Österreich gedient. Und fast alle können Deutsch sehr gut, als ihre Missionen zu Ende gekommen sind. Und ein paar Jahre später haben wir eine Wiedertreffung, eine Reunion gemacht. Und ich habe herausgefunden, dass ich der Einzige war, der immer noch auf Deutsch sprechen könnte. Es war Mensch. By the way, Lars, just literally explain the entire plot of Deltarune, why Azrael and Des is an excellent ship in German, guys. You heard it here, folks. Oh, I have a Des and Azrael video in the works. I have actually finished the first draft of the scripts. And my plan is to drop that Christmas Day. It'll be my Christmas present to everyone. A breakdown of why Desriel is very likely canon, and diving into the story as best as we can figure it. I had fun writing this. I need to go back through it again, make sure that the things are as correct as they possibly can be, and then we'll go on from there. 1980s Oreos commercial ends Camille's harem. Camille says, Lars, how could you? Next at 11. Lars, you spoil us. Hey, I try. I try my best. I've wanted to make this video now for a while. I was like, you know what? We're going to put this in Christmas time because Christmas, but also because December holiday, I think it fits for her to have a to have her own video, at least partially her own video, on December 25th. How very nice. Okay, so let me let's see here. Okay. Actually, you know what? I might as well just hold on a second here, guys. I might as well just rip this rather than screen share it. See if I can rip it and then share it. All right, I'm going to let you guys, as I'm doing this, I'm going to let you guys in on an inside joke within the harem. It's definitely nowhere near as funny unless you know Jed and you've gotten to know him and just the people around him. It's an old joke, but Jed, one of the members of the harem, who I don't think we've yet had him on a live stream. He's busy. Give this guy a break. He's got 4 kids. He really, really, really loved Oreos, and somehow it just came to be that Oreos started getting called Jeds, and so when in grad school, while I was in grad school, for the others while they were doing their undergrads, Oreos would always be referred to as Jeds. So whenever we found a new pack of Oreos, we'd be like, look, we found more Jeds. And it's like, we must provide the Jeds to Jed. As Jed Jeds the Jeds, he becomes more Jed. We are restoring the mother Jed. Like I said, it's not quite as funny unless you've actually met Jed and everything. But this is not, I swear, this commercial is in no ways about the cosmic reorganizing of the Jed. No, it's actually a very wholesome thing about Oreos.
The night before Christmas, an Oreo cookie's waiting for a special guest. I'll just
the graininess takes me right back.
Who's that kid with the Oreo cookies, eating all the luscious chocolate, licking all the creamy middles, dunking all the crunchy cookies like he did when he was little.
Santa forgets to leave presents because he's been eating Oreos the whole time. All right, yeah. There's the Oreo commercial. Why I shared that? Because Christmas time. Is Jed a vegan? Because Jeds are vegan too. No, this Jed most definitely eats meat. He will eat vegan Jeds as well. Yeah, Jed's all the Jeds. Because without the Jeds, Jed can't be Jed, but Jed must be restored to the true mother Jed. So therefore the Jed must Jed the Jeds than Jeds. Yeah, I believe though. So there we have it. There's a fun little Christmas video, Christmas commercial right there. I think for next week the live stream. I'm now in the mood for some Jeds myself. I am too. I gotta check in the back room and see if there's any Jeds left over and help myself to some Jeds. If not, gotta go get some Jeds. Running low on the Jeds. But so I think for next week, what I want to do for the live stream is kind of take us through some Christmas stories. If any of you have got some holiday favorite movies or shows that you're all like, yeah, you know what, these are really good for like getting you into the holiday spirit. Also, like they're well done. Come prepare with a list and ready to share, because I think I'm going to share for the 12 days of Christmas. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Jingle All the Way. And just share stuff from like Home Alone, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman. I'll introduce you guys as well to the Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. Probably, unironically, one of the most epic Christmas movies of all time, and it is wild. It is absolutely wild, and it's a crying shame that it's not known by more people. And yeah, I think that would be fun to just do that and have a good time. Yeah, good time. Get us all into the good proper holiday spirit. I'll Jed skate on the Jed and get some Jed and my fellow Jeds. Absolutely, yeah, get some Jeds. This feels like a smiling friend joke. Yeah, Jed the Jeds. Or ask your friend Jed to get some Jeds if Jed is not too busy. So busy. Yeah, you know, I should contact Jed. See how it's going if he's got his holiday Jeds. Always Home Alone. Home Alone is so good. So good. All right. So again, to wrap up for tonight, live stream next week should be on Friday. The week after that will be the last live stream of the year, because it'll be Christmas time and New Year's. I'll be spending time with family. I'll be out of town with some friends. So only 2 more live streams this year. Live stream next week on Friday. Should be on Friday. If not, I'll make sure to send out messages stating otherwise. And then the next week, either we'll have the live stream on a Thursday or on a Saturday. We'll see. Yeah. Definitely cannot do the live stream next week on Saturday because I will be at a Vinox mock party that my oldest sister is throwing. That's gonna be fun. I gotta dress up as Knecht Ruprecht. So so coming back to this right here, my dad will be dressing up as Sankt Nikolaus, and I'll be dressing up as Knecht Ruprecht. If he asks, we'll say Lars. Yes. If you do ask Jed for the Jeds, just say that Lars sent you. Merry Jed, Mrs. Jed. Lars. Yes, the Jed is catching on. Oh yes, I will enjoy the party time. I love it. I love the holiday parties. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, and the reason why I can't do Friday on the third week is because I'll be at another Christmas party that night. And I'm like, why can't I do it again on the next Friday? Oh yeah, Christmas, because I'm at a Christmas party, and I've said I would bring some German baked goodies. So if I do the live stream, whether it be on Thursday or on Saturday, I could include pictures of all the tasty German goodies that I'm baking up for that party. It's gonna be great, and I'll make you guys hungry. Okay, so with all that being said, everyone, I'm going to now get ready for Sankt Nikolaus to arrive. I'm going to put out my shoe and hope I've been a good boy this year and I don't get a switch and get beaten with it in the morning. So if you wish to put out shoes as well, hopefully Sankt Nikolaus will come and put some delicious candy in your shoes. Hopefully your shoes aren't too stinky for him. Then you might earn yourself a switch. With that, I deem you a Jedi. Perfect. And hopefully Jed will be there. If I could get Jed down to Tucson for a Christmas party, absolutely. I would love to have him here. All right, so with all that being said, everyone, thank you so much for joining me tonight for this live stream. I'll be seeing you guys again soon in another video. And until then, y'all, have Ich wünsche euch einen frohen Sankt Nikolausabend. Und bis nächstes Mal, ja? Tschüss.